Hey, welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's a Tuesday stream. It is September 26th. Those are all the facts. Behold, how's everyone doing? I am not doing so great, I'll be honest. Had some stomach troubles all weekend and then went and got my COVID booster. And I'm proper unwell now. I am not doing great. So we're going to be a pretty slow-paced stream with a lot of breaks for tea and getting the liquids that we all require so bad. My arm hurts real bad too. I think maybe I'm just a bit of a wuss, but getting better. How's everyone doing? Yo, Syndrin, how's it going? Love Tuesday Metropole streams. Glad you're enjoying them too. I'm super stoked for Tuesday streams. I'm stoked for any stream now, and now that we have 2 streams, like twice as good, huh? Just like by transitive, by linear property. Bing Bonko, how's it going? Leon, Tuesday stream. I've been looking forward to this all day. Welcome. Hopefully you're doing well. Hope your day's been good. To that point. Diogene, how you doing, man? How's your testing been? Hey, Spark. Sorry to hear that you're not feeling well. It's okay. It won't last long. Again, obviously traveling to Worlds. There's some, concerns about traveling and getting unwell. And then I think I'm really stressed too because of the beginning of the travel as Worlds, where it's like, a bunch of people coming together to, from all over the world to meet up. And then we go on a holiday. So there's like no good time to get sick on that route. So we went in for our booster, which is something we hadn't done since I think holidays of last year, like Christmas holidays. And yeah, the guy who did it was great. Great. Me and Maddie both went. And I think I'm doing a bit worse than she is. But yesterday was worse for Maddie. We're doing okay. Yo, Eric, how's it going? Metro Brawl, how you doing? Sorry to hear that. Stay hydrated. Break out that super big jar. Yeah, we have it. We just got to go through the coffee first before it gets cold. And then we got to drink this whole liter of water. And then there's a video that still has to come out tomorrow. I'm so behind on like responding to people and emails and stuff. And I thought I'd get it all done on Monday. And then I was an absolute garbage fire and fell asleep. But it's okay. We're doing good. We're going to be here. Decklist of the week right now. New Zealand Nationals. There's a lot of Nationals finishes that are now getting published. And let me let you in on a little secret. Let me show you a little secret here, okay? This is between you and us. Wait, yeah. That makes sense. Dave, how's it going? East Anglian Champs, mind you, coming up. Maybe we'll find out more about that during the stream. But if you want to look at some of the national results, Australian National, Netrunner Championship, East Coast. Okay. Pretty big size. We have what, 20 players here? Nice. Oh, never mind. 33 players. Pretty good. We want to look at the top cut. Oh, it's half Hoshiko. Mr. Sticks taking it on Moshing Matilda. Great name. Australian culture. This is 2309. There's no DreamNet. There's just an Earthrise Hotel. Some other stuff. Getting to Kobe seeing play. All right. Okay. Remember, DreamNet got banned. Polish National Championships. Let's see what meta this is in. Okay. Just go down here. Shout out to Matushak. Don't have a deck list here, but we're going to look at Apo's second pricey Hosh. Going to go down here. 2309. No DreamNet. Hosh. First, second place Nationals. I'm just saying. Belgian National Championship. Is this the one with Lamb in it? Yo, Sticks, congrats. Osnas is basically a big pub runner. Top cut, third Hoshiko. We don't know what the Hoshiko deck is here. I think this is 2309. Oh, this one's 08, but sometimes people don't update that. Anyways, all I want to say is Hosh is without DreamNet is still totally playable. Totally playable to good. Does that mean DreamNet should have been banned because it puts Hosh even higher above everything? And you see more, it's a bit more varied, that's for sure. But I do think at Worlds you're going to see Hoshiko without DreamNet and it's going to do just fine. I do not think that's a problem. I think Hoshiko is a pretty interesting and fun runner. Feels pretty fair. Fundamentals are good. I do want to find out. There was one deck in Hoshiko that had like Lamb in it. And I'm not a big Lamb fan. But I think the big thing that Lamb, I think is Milda Sorts. Hungarian Nationals. Yeah, this is it. Again, no DreamNet 2 Earthrise Hotel. I'm not a big fan of Lamb. But I think the one cool interaction is like using Lamb to Blake Braun, like heaven forbid you're doing that. I think, you're paying 4 for this. You're not pricing this out. And then you're paying 9 more. So that's 9 credits. It's, it's like comparable to Cleaver, but ideally that's why you play Takobi, something like that. But the one cool interaction is like, I guess if you have Lamb down early, you can paint something to be a barrier and then break it So like 3 cards to go through. A drafter is technically slightly better than what this deck can do with Carmen. I don't think I'm sold on that. I think that's actually called out in the write-up. I think that's a neat interaction. I'm not too sold on this. I think we're going to see more Lamb in like Yusuf lists, if anything, at Worlds. But that's at least kind of cool because Carmen's really bad into that. But like 4 versus 3, it's not that much better. Let me catch my chat. We have all right to be a garbage fire sometimes. Vincent, you tell them. You tell all the people who don't believe in me. Well, Audrey, how's it going? Gibbs Secret? I don't know what that means. Hey, Pink, how you doing? It's like DreamNet wasn't the problem. I think DreamNet was definitely the problem. Like, I think Hoshiko is a bit more reasonable and is on par with most other run-based decks. I think Hoshiko is just really good. The Anarch card pool is really good, but Hoshiko's ability is just quite good. And I don't think there's anything in Anarch that fits that generalist role as easily. Like, everything is a bit more build dependent. Hoshiko's just like, you know, mid lane kind of idea. But I think like she's probably a much more fair power level without DreamNet, but I don't think Hoshiko is an issue. I think what I'm noticing more editing through CanNet stuff is you're actually seeing the Hoshiko identity ability be more relevant. And mind you, even in CanNets when we had DreamNet, like people are actually weaving in and weaving out. That's mostly matchup dependent. I think if you have DreamNet, you want to run every turn, like just run archives. It's worth the click. But I think at least Hoshiko's ability is going to get a bit more interesting without DreamNet. YouTube has tagged you. Stream is Valorant, it seems. Spark, how's it going? It'll change. You can refresh every once in a while through the stream. It goes off with the what's it called? Like what we say. So I don't know. Also, I think chat might like whatever you say. The more you say Valorant, the more it becomes Valorant. Hosh is just really good. I really don't think there's another ID that can keep up across the board. There's a lot of runners that are good for a specific meta call. Hosh is always good. I think that's I think a really big thing about Hoshiko is that like you can build decks that are very, very they have a lot of flexibility across a lot of matchups. Like inherently, we have some of the best, you know, like big uninteractive economy. We have like late game economy that also works against like some of the tag stuff. We have really good playable tech against tags and remote server stuff. Again, we have non-interactive, like really good multi-access. I think this is really such a great card in a meta that's pretty wide because this is one of the few cards that's like very, very powerful against like Glacier. It's really good against like Ag Infusion, anything that has like an ability like Stegodon. Like this is so powerful. So this card like is one of the most flexible pieces of multi-access in the whole game. Shoutouts, I think we said this was the Ban Me Please card when it came out, and like that isn't the case at all. Maybe it was in startup for a minute, but like this card is so strong. You have Hippo again for ice destruction. You have Maw. You can argue what console's good. People are slowing down on Hermes, which like, yeah, I think that was kind of expected. But it is a very flexible list. And then like you have 2 of Vankar. This is what I like. It's like not so many 3 ofs anymore. And not that you'd want 3 of Miss Bones or 3 of Paladin Puemo. I think actually 3 of Paladin Puemo was called out as a suggestion for the deck list. But like it is a very, very wide playable matchup spread that you're feeling okay about. The only outlier is West Coast US Nets that where SO1. I don't have the link ready, but Ryan, I think it's RL Delgado, posted some videos from the the LA West Coast US Nationals, and they posted one cut video and then one video from Swiss rounds. I think it was round 1, and there's only 2 videos so far. I'm not sure if Ryan's going to put more on. I'll probably try and update the link in the description of this one because I watched the 2 games. They're good. They're really good. Watching live Netrunner is sick. I've been working on Quetzal Lamb deck. It's teaching me that in bad deck building. You want support to break Drafter efficiently, just play Carver? Yeah, I know. I agree, Kyle. It's like play Leech, play Carver. I think you can play Takobi. I'm not huge on Carmen. I think we're seeing very little on Nancy's. So like even the best case for Carmen, I'm not actually sure what the best case is. There's not that many 2-cost sentries that are seeing a lot of play. 2 strength sentries, mind you. So I don't know. It's just like, I don't know what's better. I'm also not big on Unity, right? Like I don't understand, and clearly I'm wrong because everyone's doing it. But like you generally need to break code gates in the early game. That's when you're expecting to run into your magnets, your gatekeepers, your heaven forbid an MIC. And like Unity is ass at it. It is really quite bad. Like I don't know if we're at the point to like play Shibboleth, but if we're playing Ice Carver, like we might as well play Buzzsaw. There's not a lot of high strength code gates besides those cases. But like I don't understand the Unity thing. I'm like, does Hoshiko set up that fast? Maybe. Yo, Gensling, how's it going? Basilisk, hey Andre, hi live, got first place on last GLC Standard League. Yo, how'd it go? What'd you play? Congrats. Hope you had fun. Hosh was not dominant at the Seattle CO this weekend. I attribute that more to Eric and Sam being crim stands, the real Hosh weaknesses. Is that posted? I have heard that Eric is like jamming some criminal stuff. And I think like that's going to be really interesting. Yeah. I think White Blade's been jamming Zaya decks and just like sending essentials. And I think that's like probably underexplored too. Like, it depends on what the meta is, but if you're playing into NEH, like Xayah can get so easy value. If you're playing against Sports Metal, like that's a really good meta for Xayah. If you're playing against Asa and some HB decks, like they don't ice up centrals that well. Like I think Xayah is in a pretty cool spot. And obviously Whiteblade is doing well. In Shaper News, Joyride deck got second. Is that what this is? Did Sid play his own card? Hell yeah. Okay, one up, whatever. He had to. Legally, he has to. I think he signs a contract with Null Signal Games. But how's it going? What's Hoshiko's weakness? I don't know. Consistency. I think that's the one thing is that like the deck inherently, and I don't think it's a really big weakness that some decks actually do capitalize on it, is that the deck can't stop fast advance and it can be inconsistent to set up really quickly. So like, I think one of the best ways that this was called out is like at some of the Continentals, you saw Outfit did really well, and Outfit's a sort of deck that could like close the game by turn 5 or turn 6. And if your only way to get through like a Valenchao reasonably on turn 3 if they score an Atlas is finding your Unity, that might not be a realistic option. So I think that's a problem. And then into the meta, you got a lot more Shapers, and then Clot became common, and the Arasana or Lat matchup into Outfit is like super mega cursed. So I think the Outfit's in a pretty bad spot right now. But I think just like rushing them down to the point that if they can't set up consistently, you can go a bit faster than them because they are inherently inconsistent, right? Like if 2 Carmens are in the bottom of the deck, GG, as opposed to like a Mutual Favor in Criminal or an SMC in Shaper. Like in theory, that's meant to be a down, a strike against it, but it doesn't always work out that way. Hey Con, I'm still sort of new, but to me Hoshiko, like it doesn't feel like she's broken. It's more just that her ability benefits every playstyle, so whatever works in the meta, you can stick in Hoshiko. Yeah, I think that's a good place to work. A good way to say it. It just, Hoshiko, it works well with most things. And it's, unfortunately, I think it's really hard to get an Anarch ID in a lot of cases that's not incredibly divergent with his game condition and be like, this is not strictly better in Hoshiko. Hey Jester, we're looking to add more commentary for West Coast Nats. More videos come. Oh, that's super good to hear. It's really fun. It's really good stuff. What would you play over Unity? Because Buzzsaw isn't the answer. Sigh. Yeah, I don't know if it's Chibolith. I don't even know, like Gordian Blade is probably definitely not worth it. Unity is okay. You don't want to play Euler. So like maybe this is just the best option of some bad options. But I think like Buzzsaw might be fine as long as you're running more leeches and you're running Ice Carver. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what we saw from Bridgman, if I'm not mistaken. It was awesome played NEH and Sable. Those are fun decks. Unity's better into big ones like Valenchao and Buzzsaw absolutely hates. It is, yeah. And if this deck, like people stop playing Botulus, so that's worth understanding. It's like if there's a code gate you can't deal with, it helps to have some backups. Like this deck doesn't have what's his name? I think him. I don't know pronouns. Excuse me on this one, but on Banhar it doesn't have Botulus, stuff like that. Bridgman had no leech, okay, but Bridgman had Ice Carver. Breakers, what are those? We got our face. Yeah. Well, yeah. You got Banhar. This one doesn't, so this is a bit harder. I like the price though. Kind of hard to farm Takobi counters against Outfit too. Yeah, no, that is definitely true. You don't. I think in that matchup you're happier with Leech than Takobi. But like we put up a Cannats Outfit matchup, and like I got a really good comment from someone. It's like, hey, I'm new to the game. Who wrote this comment? I forget the name exactly. But like I watched this Outfit game and like the corp just got totally run over. And like I do think inherently that's kind of an Outfit problem, is that like Outfit decks don't have a good thing to put in the remote server past like turn 5. So if they don't draw well, and specifically if they don't not draw poorly, which they can easily draw really poorly, some matchups are so totally one-sided. Where it's like if they don't get a big deal off, if they don't get the Atlas of the counter, they're just sitting there while like 5 bad publicity comes at them. Is there a way to update the list of cards on a published deck on NetRunDB, or do you publish a new version? I think you can just do a comment. I don't think you can actually change it once it's up Spark, but I'm not sure. I'm not like, for as much network content we put out, we've published like frighteningly few lists. I basically publish all my lists in the deck dives privately, so you can open them, but they're not on NetRunDB. And I'm running out of deck slots, so maybe I have to reconsider that. You put down a Noom and farm the Trebuchets. I think Noom is really good. I kind of like Noom. Like you're paying 4 for Drafter anyways, what's the difference? Admittedly, Carmen can come down for cheaper. Heaven forbid you pay 5 for Carmen. It's so bad. But like Noom is pretty good into the Stegadon matchup. It's really good into the Outfit. It's not that much worse into a lot of the stuff Carmen's dealing with. Like one more for Anansi. The same for Drafter. Again, I don't know how common Anansi is. Takobi decks probably should be on Noom. I think Takobi decks you'd rather be on Carmen because the Takobi is worth more. Right? The refusal to even admit in goal is a legal option. Play Lamb, it's cheaper, right? Or use Boomerang and give them 2 credits. Yeah, you can Boomerang a Valenchao. You can also just have more money, right? Make a second NanoRay account for more deck slots. Yo, Lava, you're not wrong. How's it going? I can't play Carmen without singing LDR Carmen. I don't know what LDR is, but I'm pretty sure it's not the opera. Unless it's the opera. If you're singing the opera, super cool. 5 credits and 2 MU. Breaks Drafter for 6 credits. Must be Angola. I'm on board with the hate. Man, I don't get it. People do well with Angola. Like, Angola won Worlds last year. It's obviously a different build. It's an Apocalypse build, but like, come on. Angola. Lana Del Rey, I'm not classy. I don't think you have to be embarrassed about enjoying Lana Del Rey. I don't know of Lana Del Rey that much. All right, there's a couple archetypes that we still haven't like crossed out from the new set. And I do think there's still a lot of cards in the new set that we haven't explored at all that require a bit more exploration. And so one thing that we haven't played with is the idea of making like a trap-based kind of personal evolution deck that cares about tags the way that Jinteki P cares about net damage. Now I think it's a bit harder in Reality Plus or in NBN in general, but we put together a list that has a lot of the stuff, but it's also missing some of the cards that I'm most excited to play, and I think it's hard to build a cogent game plan with all the pieces. So I'm going to explain to you how we got here. Again, I just built this. I think we're 49 cards, but we can make some changes to explain what the deck wants to be and what we're short of doing. The real grossness is to be on Adora and break all sentries for free. Without DreamNet, you do lose a virtual, but I think the numbers on the Dory are like not amazing. Post Malone's Lana Del Rey for the boys. So much of this goes over my head. I'm gonna just assume that's very funny. I don't know. How's it going, by the way, Flesh? Okay, so there's a couple new cards that are really fun in the new set. Behold, costing 2 credits from Reality Plus is pretty messed up. And then if the runner does trash it, which they're kind of incentivized to do, then we have a free or 5 credit Market Forces, not Market Forces, Oppo Research the following turn. That is disgusting. It's really easy in this sort of deck to go like really hard on Tag Me sooner than later, and hopefully that's going to be a problem for the runner. From that point on, I also want to put cards on the table that we can do install advance, and so that they can't tell what they are. And the minimum check a Scion for us is an econ card that they check, they have to clear a tag. And again, if they trash this, which unfortunately we have no way to punish that, we don't have like Trickle Light or any way to use advancements, it's going to be really bad for them. Now, I was looking at things like Mitosis, but unfortunately Mitosis is 4 influence. So if we want to do like, what's it called? This sort of like Beal or no Beal decks where it's trying to figure out what's on the table, what's not on the table. We can't really afford to do that without cutting into everything else we want to do, but that's the basic idea. We also have cards like reversed accounts, which we do install advance. Next turn we can crack this and they can lose, you know, all their money and then Oppo Research depending on the board state. So this is one of the cards that if they don't run it, it's going to be a problem, which we actually have frighteningly few in the deck. How do we win? With this? Seems kind of difficult, and honestly wonder if we should just reconsider this. It's always nice to have at least one in the deck, because if they ever end their turn on low cards in hand, you can just win out of nowhere, as opposed to going out the way to try and win off of agendas. In terms of agendas, we have 3 Bolognas. It's a big old sink, that's for sure, but it helps with the Oppo Research. It's really quick to us get to threat 3 if we score this out or they steal it. We have 3 Freedom of Information, which I don't feel great about this, but I'm not sure what else our win con is going to be here, but it's nice to have this as much as this is going to be the regulatory capture outfit brick in our hand. Oracle Think Tank for maximum annoyingness, Oppo Research, and then at tomorrow's headline, because of course you are. Would you like this to become a Mwanza deck? I don't think so. It's interesting though, but I don't think so, just because I don't like Mwanza. Like, I wish Mwanza didn't exist. I'm good now, I'm watching some Netrunner. LDR is amazing. Also my buddy Brad was the guy in her music video, made me love her even more. Hey Brad. Why the large deck size? Because when I originally built this list, Jester, like often it was like 55 cards and we cut it down. But we probably should cut it tomorrow's Freedom of Information and go down to 48 cards and then just play from there. I just want to go through the list because I do think we can cut it down for sure. The best punish for them is not trashing stuff, is to play 1 Mad. I don't know if we have enough stuff to Mad, but I think you're technically right. I just don't think Reality Plus is spoiled for ways to do tags, yeah. But yeah, Mad is like a very interesting card. Vlad's a win con, VK. Yeah, Vlad is a win con. We have 2 of them. So let's just talk about our other win cons. Like, we want to play 1 end in the line because we do. 3 Hedge Fund might not be necessary. 1 Market Forces, I think you have to when you're playing 3 Blown in your deck because it's the only way to crush the runner out of the game. I don't like this card. Or in 2 Mindscaping, this is the way that if they're tagged, we can do Mindscaping into end of line and kill on 5 cards in hand and even still respect Steelskin Scarring, which is nice. But again, 4 influence, we could cut this. Oppo Research, really important. Pivot, such a absurd card. Once we hit threat 3, which we're trying to do anyways, now we can, for 2 clicks, go get a freedom information if they're really tagged. That seems really important. Let alone this means that we can go get an end of line and only play 1 end of line and technically have 3 copies of it, as much as it does get more expensive. But this is so good in a deck that has like different ways to do, you know, single tag punishment or different amounts of tag punishment. We had 2 shipments from Vlad. I think this is better than Psychographics. It's a nice way to fast events out. I do think earlier versions of the deck also had Vera in it. And I think we're not going to be that good at like pressuring the runner to not or to trash this. Maybe we are because Opera Research is annoying. But I like the idea that scoring out agendas, maybe it actually would be better even to have Amani Sinai. Just so that when we score out agendas, we also get more board state from it and we push the runner even further back. That could be really cool. Otherwise, Planogram, this could be just what we're doing instead of hedge funds. All those modes are really good, and having an econ card that's playable on all board states is really good for a trap deck. Other things, 2 Amaze Amusements. Not sure if this needs to be in the list, but it is, you know, obviously frustrating. We can even put this on centrals, and if they trash it, we can oppo, but like definitely not a necessary card, but one of the only ways that we can tag them outside of Check Assign and Behold. We also have a single snare, which like, again, influence. It's kind of tight. It's nice to know that you can draw this out of the hand if they get this on R&D. And again, if they trash this, they're risking Oppo Research. And if they do hit the snare, they'll have less cards in hand, so they're more likely to die to end the line and Mindscaping. I think there was a reason in this to play a single copy of Public Trail, because even on Pivot, you can do Pivot, Public Trail, and then end the line potentially, as much as you can do double Pivot. But I think a single Public Trail in the deck kind of makes sense as the thing to get in the toolbox, so we'll see. Pivot FOI is pretty spicy. It is really, really cool if you get that. Jad, how's it going, by the way? Other things, we have 3 pings. We actually probably have too much ice. We had, technically we used to have pop-up windows. Now we have a funhouse, which like probably is a bit too rich for the deck and doesn't do much once the runner goes tag me. So we probably want to cut that. We have 2 VSAs because it's pretty good. And then we have 2 Basilisas because originally I thought we'd have more advanced traps, but I think we don't have that many advanced traps. I think we're all going to mostly have 1 thing in remote server at all points in time. So we'll go with that. Let me catch up on chat. Hey, Jai. Don't miss Mr. Metropole stream. Hell yeah. 54 card R+ coming. Junkie, how's it going? I gotta go back and play your deck at some point. I did like Monza when there was Shock Sobakata on that ice with Firewind Access. Yeah, Syndrome saying Chrysalis. Yeah, I just don't like it as a card. Like Monza inherently as a card, I find very frustrating because there's just not enough ways in the card pool to interact with this. And so the right play a lot of times to interact with a 0 cost 1 influence card is just never run that central. I think this is the sort of card NSG would never print. Not that FFG doesn't print great stuff consistently, but this card I just don't agree with. I don't think it should exist. We're just lucky it hasn't been a problematic card. But if this shows up in most metas, I don't know. It's a ban candidate. I just don't think there should be a card that is this cheap as much as it is a downside. You just shouldn't run. You shouldn't run R&D strictly unless you're on 5 points. And so you just don't run the server, which, come on. Play against some of the other night who threw Amaze on Archives versus my Essa. Never occurred to me, but it was a great move. Yeah, it is really cool. Upgrades on Archives are actually like, I love to see more of them, and we've seen a couple of things as well. Pinhole Freedom? Yeah, but this was before Pinhole. I think I was most worried about Monza, but you're right, you could Pinhole it. Because Pinhole doesn't, is Pinhole only remotes? No, it's not, right? I can't search it here, it's not. Yo, Sophie, how's it going? How you doing? How you doing well? How's the hand? Now, I'll be honest, the big reason I was excited to play this deck isn't in the deck, and that's because there's a whole bunch of cards that we haven't played yet. We haven't played any of the off faction tag punishment ice. So we have Faunatria, and for the same amount of influence, we also have Jaguarundi. And both of those effects are actually really fascinating. I think threat 4 on the Jaguarundi is a bit too late for us. I think you will face check. We're also, mind you, not even playing Starlit Knight, which we probably should be. It's probably one of the better tag payoff sentries, especially because it has a disgusting face check. But Faunatria is like kind of really cool. You're not rezzing this one for 1 credit the way that you will with Jaguarundi, because it's likely the net damage drops them below the forehand size when they pass this. But this is the sort of card that I wanted to have a fork between, like, how do you not get tagged but also not have a lot of cards in hand, and then we can win off a Public Trail into end of line. But unfortunately, this is probably the influence that Snare goes into, and I think Snare is probably going to be a bit more potent than this card itself. So I think what we probably do is we drop 2 of these, we drop a Funhouse, and we just play 2 copies of Starlit. And then we try and cut like 5 cards. I expect a lot more people to play Tag Kugo, honestly. What is that? I don't even know what that could be, Jai. Got a neat scar. It's still stiff, and I got some jazzy nerve pain. Oh, but huge fan of not having an open wound. Yeah, silver linings. Oh, that's really good to hear. Hopefully you're like meeting with, I don't know, like a physio or someone with that who can help you with that sort of stuff. Yeah, hopefully that gets better soon. Yeah. Mobility obviously helps a lot. Okay. I think this deck is playable. I think we might struggle for a win condition. I think the opponent might beef it into a lot of our stuff. Tag Kugo is Phonotria. Oh, because it's like... I get it, because it's like Cat Kugo. Got it. Thank you. Phonotria is pretty sick in PE. Yeah, Mushin, how's it going? I think there's a whole bunch of like, you know, mindscaping, soft tag or hard tag threat decks within and Jinteki that might be pretty relevant. Whether they're on Warroid or not, I think that's a really cool thing. It's because like Jinteki is one of the sort of decks that can really capitalize on you having low cards in hand, but also can now in faction somewhat reasonably impact you with tags. So it's really annoying. Yeah. Yeah, Kakugo better tag. So this is where the list is. If you have any opinions of how to cut this down, I'm not sure how much money we need up front. Hedge fund is a bit rich. Whether the snare makes more sense than just like running a Jaguar Undy, I don't know. But this is where we're starting. And I think we could consider playing this. I worry that the one in Public Trail is also kind of expensive. Like this is 3 credits off of a pivot. That might be a bit much because the deck only has like 2 econ cards and Market Forces. Mindscaping, I don't know if it's not an econ card. I guess you could say it is. But if we draw, like this is our opening hand. This is a good hand. Like we ice up HQ. We ice up the remote server. We put something in the remote server. We lose down on R&D, no problem. No problem whatsoever. We draw with this. The freedom informations look really bad. I'd actually be pretty excited to play less of them because they're not a card that we can score out pretty easily. This hand's good. Like we keep this. Oh, it's back. Pivot. We'd probably do ping on HQ VSA on the remote server. I think is more correct. We probably want a hedge fund turn 1, but then we can do hedge fund. We can do checklist advance. If they run it and trash it, we can do oppo and then we can jam a reversed accounts otherwise on top of that. And then we have some weird lines here. And if they don't clear the tags because they're dealing with the checklist, that's really cool. I think I would like more stuff that they have to really consider trashing. Behold and Snare, yeah, our central servers are going to feel pretty okay. But I do think there's maybe a chance that we need an Amani Sanai or need something else on the table that they really want to trash. We'll see. Behold. Hey, Izzy, how's it going? Hopefully you're feeling okay. Thanks for joining me on the weekend. We did a bunch of casting stuff. So we got through, so far I've got through 10 videos of Can Nats Swiss. I was joined for a couple games with Izzy, a couple games with Jeff, and those are going to be coming up a bit faster. I don't know if we're going to get one up tomorrow considering I don't feel good, but we'll go from there. Feeling a bit better today. Thank you. Good to hear. Yeah, Izzy, I said this earlier. I went for my booster shot on Monday and like, I'm not good. Yesterday was worse. Hey, Veronica, how's it going? We're playing some like Behold, some tag punishment like Trap NBN. We're just trying to jam in our remote server. Maybe a single funhouse is good because our ice obviously like falls off so hard until late game. I'm gonna try this. I'll try this. Behold, Monty, how you doing? I sleeved up the deck called 10 Facts About Jaguars that entered to be for a local meetup tonight, which is sort of like a deck but out of PE. I'll check that out. I think I did open that because the name was really good and there was actually Jaguar facts. And like cat facts are pretty cool. Behold. So if you don't know the interaction, Reality Plus says, whenever the first time a turn the runner takes a tag, the corporation can draw 2 cards or gain 2 credits. And it's very important to understand if the runner accesses the top card of R&D and it's a Behold or a Snare, and you fire it. Now, because it's the first time a turn, maybe the runner has taken tags, you're allowed to draw 2. And that means you actually draw the Snare or Behold out of the runner's hand that they are accessing, and they're no longer able to trash it. It is such a wild interaction that I've seen in person, but it is incredibly surprising. In my experience on R+, you kind of need to have a single tag punish, so the many games the runner feels okay sitting on 1 tag because they know about my punishes SFE. Yeah, I hear you with that, and I think like maybe that's predictive planogram. We obviously have end line. I'll Market Forces on 1. I don't care. But yeah, no, you're not wrong. You definitely have to make sure you have tag punishment spread over the gamut. The draw breaks the access, yep, because you draw the card they're accessing and they're no longer drawing it. It's a really weird interaction. But it works with snares. You can fire the same snare twice. Excited for the rest of the Cannats videos. I know how much work they are, but the editing is spot on. Thank you, Mondi. That's very kind. Yeah, they're definitely a lot of work. I'm so absolutely astounded that like the viewership on the streams is higher than those, but like, I don't know, maybe it takes a while to get into it. But yeah, we have some good games. Again, apologies, the camera quality, it's not great. It only gets better because the second day we had better lighting, I think. We'll find out. The word Jaguar comes from the Tupi Guarani word Yaguara, which means wild beast that overcomes its prey at a bound. The scientific name of the jaguar is Panthera onca. Hey, it's pink. Cool. Isla. Not sure what Isla does. Can't get apocked. I'm not a big Isla fan. Isla gives you that sort of like, you know, setup flexibility as much as drawing from your NV RAM, or they call it set aside area now. Thanks, you too. Isn't particularly good on tempo, but you can use this ability to basically remove cards from the game, so you play with a thinner deck. That's something that Shaper can do inherently. Yeah, cheers. Hey, cheers. Cat, how's it going? How's your prep? Cat, are you unionized yet? Are you striking? You don't have to answer any of that if that is too politically motivated. Hopefully your industry is going okay. I know it's hard out there. Isla's like Budget Andy. It's so much worse. It's so much worse than that. But yeah. You say the camera's bad and I still don't believe you. You have no idea how much like post-processed brightness I have to add onto that sucker. We're like 80 in. Okay. No idea what Isla's going to do. Maybe deep dive. Opening hand, we have Behold Bologna Shipment. If we did an Oppo, I would just like jam the Bologna. I'm going to keep this hand. This hand's fine. VFX isn't unionized, so we can't strike. It was just the Marvel folks, right? Oh, that's even better. The Marvel folks did that. We'll start here. That's nice. Put a card on the top of the deck. There you go. And here, I think we'll just do new remote this, and then we can jam on top of it. And we're feeling okay. You think so, Eric? It's real bad. It's not good. You can't read the die. Like, you cannot read the metal damn die. The quality is so bad. Is this the Mountain Vargoth versus Crimson Order stream? Finally, some Summoners and more content? Summoner Wars does not get played enough in my house. My partner is not a big Summon Wars fan. I understand it. I would say it's pretty much not the thing that she enjoys. We're just going to speedrun Threat 3. Nothing to it. They're definitely doing something. Like, they spent a click, I think, to draw the prepaid, which, like, that's not amazing. Like, that actually makes the value of the prepaid so much slower. I'm worried about a twinning deck. Marvel's onset VFX unionized unanimously. Imagine getting 100% of your coworkers to agree to something. I think like the votes from what's it called, from even the game strike stuff, it was like 98%, 94%, which like hilarious. But yeah, no, totally. Like having that many people in any field agree on one thing. Yeah, the stuff is probably pretty bad. As much as oh, Spark, sick. That can't be the desired target. Okay. They changed the set aside area back to NVRAM, so Gachapon puts card into NVRAM. They should. Oh, that'd be so cool. They trashed reversed accounts, so here they actually can be oppoed if we top deck the oppo. They discarded Harmony Error Therapy. They have an engine. Snare was the next card there. Did they go in last click? No. So here, we could oppo. We could do credit oppo. I don't think we have a huge incentive to do that. I think we have to do a Spin Doctor. We just want to get something on top of this amaze. Unfortunately, it's that. But this seems like a totally fine trade. This is like a 3-tag play. As much as scoring this out puts us on game point, and we will consider doing it. No, not at all. Yeah, Pink Warrior hasn't been playing for a bit, so them exploring the new card space, whether this is her deck or not, we'll find out. Cool. Oh, this can't go well. Oh, this is going to be good. Let's go. Reversed accounts. Damn it. Snare. Yeah, okay. If we fire that, we go down to only 2 credits. We'll just gain the money. Nice. Imagine it was like beholden to Snare. And that's the thing, is like you want to trash it. She trashed that. You definitely want to consider it. It's like really hard though. Clearing the tag. Oh no, that JPEG. Yeah, that could have been way worse. That could have been 3 tags suddenly. Okay, that's annoying, but again, the hand is pretty safe. She didn't trash the reversed. So I think we can do advance here. We could consider pivoting for, I think we actually just pivot for the, yeah, I think here we pivot. We pay 6 credits to give 4 tags because that makes this much easier to score. So I think we just do credit pivot, right? In theory, we can install anything. Boom. Pivot's good. Yeah, I need a pivot over Oppo. Yeah, it helps. We don't want to score this out naturally. We also have this, but there's a chance if she doesn't clear enough tags this turn, we actually can win by just scoring this out for free and then like tomorrow's headline shipment. Like it's wild. It's really wild how fast this can go. If you can't see the die face, you avoid debates over whether logos on dice should be a 1 or a 6. They should always be 1. Buy advance is a GG. Damn, that's GG. Score. Server 1. Oh, that's disgusting. Wow, GG. Logo should always be 6. I don't know about that. This also gives us money. Yeah, that this is this tag deck is really hard to deal with. I don't know yet what to recommend against the tags, but I reckon if you clear them, the corp has a lot of work to do. Yeah, if you clear the tags, like the corp doesn't win that fast, so I think you have to do it. Yeah, don't blow tags. I don't know, like the Docklands pass into HQ. I'm not sure if you're expecting there to be too many agendas in there because I was jamming out pretty heavily. So I think you just have to set up your economy more than you want to go for accesses. The cloth thread there could have been pretty difficult. Hey, Elwin, how's it going? Slow down, I have whiplash. Yeah. Good game, Pink. All right, that seemed like it did exactly what we wanted to do. That was a pretty cool showing. If logo's on 6, then your 20-sided dice are really weird. You should have a conversation with your opponent where the dice face is, but 1 makes so much sense because it has 1 logo. Yo, Pink, thanks for the game. Yeah, that was pretty wild. We had a really, really clean line there, and you see the power of pivot. But yeah, I think if you clear tags, like obviously it's slow and expensive for you, but the corp can't do much if you're not tagged. Ellen, we're playing some Behold. We're just playing like Trap NBN and seeing how it goes, like tempo Trap NBN. Yeah, float 1 tag. Floating 1 tag is probably safe. They host regular events online? Wait, Pat, what are you agreeing to? I love Summoner Wars. I wish Plaid Hat was better than about organized play, though. Seems like it could be a lot bigger than it is. They have their app, which is really cool. Don't the MTG HP D20s have the logo on the 20? I don't know. Daruma. Hey, thanks. You too. All right. Have to have some respect against 419 for sure. This hand is not amazing unless we top deck economy really quickly. Because making promos would be so easy. You got a game night to get a foil full bleed summoner or something. They don't have promo cards. Reprint Big Brother. I would actually be interested in playing Big Brother. But I did play Big Brother, unironically, when it was around. Take that, Timmy. I don't like this hand. That's better. This is an econ card for us, right? That's really important. Only really saw the end of the line as a punishment, so figured I'd float them for a bit. Yeah, that's fair. It's tricky though, but that's fair. I see. Okay, so VSA into the mode server. We don't want to score out the VS, the what's it called, the Oracle think tank. That's for sure. And we don't want to really pivot until an oppo until there's a, you know, a problem. So I think we're gonna do new remote. We're gonna show them it's a VSA. No. HQ credit. And then if we have an oppo and they don't have a really strong economy, looks like they're kind of popping off already. Does Flathead do any OP for Ashes? I'm not sure, but Pat will know. Make people playing Neo have to deal with Big Brother and Drago. Ah, that's bad. We have a lot of agendas. Last click run into R&D here is potentially game losing. If it's a snare, we can pivot to win. Oh, no, we can't. We're short on money. But like a Behold here would be really, really good. That's a really risky run into R+. Seeing an oppo. Now this is where the Oracle think tank actually looks a fair bit worse for us. We could put in server 1. I think the only bad case is that they run this. They take 2 tags and then the diversion of funds us. That's, I think, the worst case. I think we just click 3 here, though. There are a few kits for Ashes. I remember there being a plushie. Oh, Pat has the plushie. Pat has the plushie kit. I know he bought it, but was unable to organize the thing. It's in his apartment. I've seen it. It's cute. It's like one of those wisps, right? They've hosted events where the prizes are store credit. Oh, cool. Yeah, I prize kit that never opened. There you go. Pat, I gotta pick up my, what's it called from you? The stuff that we got for, unmatched, right? Okay, double ace HQ is actually kind of reasonable because we're soft to diversion and like boomerang diversion will come in. We do need to get an ice on R&D though. I think ideally it's a VSA to force like a decoder. We can draw once here. It's not good. I'm okay for them to go through this to take 2 tags because then we can oppo them for 2 tags and their money's not particularly good here. So I'm going to ice this up. And then we'll put this in a remote server. We will score that out. Probably. Actually, we might not because they can do Doofus. We'll see. Hey, Paul, how's it going? Nice. Shibboleth. That's a really good install there. It still gets us rezzed and they pay 1 credit. But that was a really good install. We maybe wanted to protect that because I don't know if they install Shibboleth immediately unless they know what this is. So that's on us. It's a headline though. We're only going to be on threat 2 and they can open up HQ here. Well, we can lose really quickly if they bounce this and then steal a Bologna somehow. But if that's the case, we oppo them. We'll gain 2. Again, the bounce makes HQ a bit safer as much as it is 50% agendas. There should be a side event for Neo at Worlds. Oh, super cool. So we don't want to oppo here. They know that we have it. But we just want to like wait until it's enough tags to matter. Doing fine. Played Netrunner for the first time in person since Candance yesterday. It was fun. Oh, how was it last night? Sorry I couldn't make it out. I was in a really bad state yesterday. I'm doing a fair bit better, but not perfect yet. Falsified. Guest asset. So Oracle Think Tank, they know what this is. So now it's a liability on us. So we want to like advance this once at least and then not score it out because they know what it is. If we score this out, it does not bring us to threat 3. It doesn't bounce. So we're going to advance it once and leave it because I don't think they want to steal this. And it's a liability because if we score it, we bounce. We have a good window here though. HQ is getting a bit ugly. How do we fix this hand? I think we actually put 1 in archives. And then do we just do credit, discard this? If they hit it, they might get like a really ugly bounce on the think tank, but like that's the worst case. Also issues, we're going to discard a card next turn if we don't double advance this. It might have been worth double advancing it because there's no good way for them to challenge this. Unless they do run bounce diversion. And if that's the case, I still think we oppo them. We just do credit oppo. It was cool, a bit too short unfortunately to my taste. Only played 2 games, but they were fun. Ah. Nice, okay. So now they're going to be on threat 3, which is where we need them to be. No worries. But this is not a good opening. Maybe we need a third Amaze Amusements. It seems like the only unfair thing we can really do. But like us scoring on the Oracle Think Tanks, that's really bad for us. There's no way around that. IA overinstall with Bologna? Maybe. That might be right. I think you're right that the Bologna is a much harder thing for them to contest this turn. Yeah, that could have been correct. Scoring Bologna though is really ugly into like bounce ping into diversion, stuff like that. But I think there's no way that we're not going to take any risks on it. But that does get us to threat 3, which is really good. Yeah, I kind of like that line. Now with the 2 think tanks in the archives though, it's, I wouldn't say entirely a mess because it might actually be okay. All right, they're going for it. Again, the pretty big credit swing. At least the dirty laundry helps a lot. So they get a bounce here. They're going to have 5 credits. We're going to have 11. If they steal Bologna, they're in game point. They run archives, they win. Could be over that fast. But they probably have to clear this tag. So now if they diversion, they float a single tag. And with a pivot, we can't really punish it. Unless we top deck a Mindscaping and then we win. If we top deck a Mindscaping here and they don't float the tag, we win. Or the end of the line. So we have 3 and 38 to win. Maybe that's also a good reason to play 44 cards because we're more consistent on some of our multi-card combos. The air conditioner just reset. Firmware update through hardwired electric line. Oh, no one home. That's a problem. That's not good for us. That's fine though. We have more money than them. I'm still gonna do it. So now because this comes in 2 parts, the no one home only protects the first 2 tags. So now we have to spend a bit more. So instead of 4, I still think it's worth it. So we have to spend 5 plus 5, but 10 goes down to 2. I think we're going to do it because I don't know how else we get out of this hole. Can you res a unique upgrade like a maze to trash an already res a unique upgrade? You can. You can. The only thing with Eric, you got to remember that that is considered the game state trashing stuff, so it won't fire things like op, but you're always allowed to res unique stuff, trashing other unique stuff. Cool, earn 2 credits. Again, if we res a ping, we'll get more money. But here, they're going to start on 5. It's hard to clear all the tags, and if we shipment out Bologna, we're in an okay spot. We can also like pivot from market forces. We don't have a lot of money to pivot into any other win conditions. But pivot into market forces if they float the tags. There's ways out of this for sure. But if you run 3, you can have them popping all over. Neat. Yes, if you run 3, you can res 1, trash 1. That actually most often happens with defensive upgrades like a maze, amusements, or sorry, with like Managarm. Like having a Managarm here and Managarm here. There's a lot of times a dance to be like, I'm going to force them to res this one. So then I go run here to force them to res this one. So then I can go back to site A. Hey, Andre, how's it going? We're playing like Behold trap-based NBN. So like, just as much annoying stuff as possible. We also have to remember we can shuffle this thing back, which like a lot of players forget about it. It's pretty demoralizing. But there's almost no way that we're not going to shuffle the think tank back this turn. Yeah, of course. This is a hard turn. Just the raw economic power of Opal Research. It's a very difficult turn to get around because no matter what, we're going to have a punishment. They also have to, like, as soon as they start clearing the tags, the Bolognas in hand are pretty safe. Pretty safe. So this is difficult. Turtle, that looks like an archives run. That's 5 tags. Huh. I think we res the pink here. It gives them another tag and it's free. Now we have this resed. If they run HQ, we go down to 0 credits. But they need to draw up. We actually are short credits though to pivot. To end the line, we need 4 with 2 clicks. So if we top deck like a planogram, that would be best case. A market forces would maybe be reasonable. But we're more likely just to shipment the Bologna and then able to we're not able to reinstall the ping, but I don't think we mind. If we res this one, go down to 0, this axis doesn't really matter. It gets 1 Amaku counter, but they can't really do much with the axis. Seeing that's scary. They don't even get turtle counters off archives. Yeah, I know they don't. 4 cards in hand. Okay. So there's a couple top decks that win. That's not one of them. But we can do install, shipment advance. We'll be on 5 credits. They get a bounce with an open HQ. Thinking. We could market forces. It costs us 2 clicks. We can market forces. We could also planogram, which is 2 clicks to draw 3, gain 3. I think we're just going to shipment the pivot. I think that's fine. So also worth noting that we have a second one, so they don't clear the tags this turn. We can win next turn as well if the Bologna stays. This might be correct. If you res pink, you don't need to reinstall. Yeah, but we go down to 0, and we want to be not on 0. Pay 1 credit to prevent exposing a piece of ice. No, they don't need more than 1 Amaku counter. Cool. Yo, Baza, how's it going? So that actually made HQ more safe. If they diversion us, they can't clear all the tags, so we'll just market forces the money back. So it's hard for them to get Are we gonna get doofed here? It's totally fine. We just pivot for market forces. It costs us 1 credit. And then all their money becomes our money. And if they're doing that instead of like trying to win off of R&D, that's better for us. In general. If you res pink, you get the money back. Only for the first one. So we res the R&D one. The HQ one, if we res, we've already got our ability. Yeah, this is totally fine. Like, they lose by not clearing the tags. Admittedly, we just need 2 credits to win the game. Or sorry, 3 credits. Because we need Bologna pivot. Oh, no, we can't. We actually can't win with those. Yeah, we're just going to take the money back. Because now they have to respect end the line. Oh, they didn't. Okay, that makes sense. Good game, I guess. Oh, no, we're 1 credit short. If we could do credit, pivot. Oh, man, that's so bad. But like if we had 1 credit, we could pivot for the thing. Oh man, we're just slightly short. That's so rough. We're 1 credit short because we could pivot for closed accounts or sorry, market forces and then do end of the line. We'll do market forces. To player install. All right, that's our money. They get diversion again, but then they're not clearing all the tags, and then they probably die at the end of the line, I guess. We actually didn't have to do that play that turn. I was worried they're going to clear the tags. We could have just clicked for 3, I think. That might not have been the correct line there. But yeah, we're 1 credit short of closing the game right then and there. Okay, Bologna is safe. They found the end of line. If we top deck a Mindscaping, we are short credits. I don't think we really care to trash a class act. Yeah, we were 1 credit short. So the doof mattered? Only mattered because we top decked this. If we didn't top deck this, it would still totally fine. So they have 2 tags. So this clears a tag, drops into 0 cards. So I think we just start with the Spin Doctor. No. Oh, we probably should have a virus in the list. We have 1 influence left over. So we'll just do HQ credit. Checkus is actually worth keeping. I don't think we need a 3rd Oppo. No one plays that in the line. It's not a real card. No one does. It's not a real card. Did you pay the 4-1 tax when you installed Bologna? No, we did not. That's why it went from 1 to 2, and now it's 3 and 4 because of the dirty laundry. I don't think we did. But if we did, yeah, it would be a mess up. We don't care. Again, there's nothing in the deck that's over 2 strength, so Amakua can do whatever it wants. Okay, now we're over 5 credits, so we're threatening Snare, and we're threatening the 3 copies of Behold, so there's 4 traps in R&D. Mind you, there's also this. No, we probably should shuffle this back into the deck. It removes a tag, though. Never mind. We're only going to do that if they're like so deep in tag me territory that it makes sense. But currently their tags are incredibly relevant. Like 2 tags, they want to be on 1 tag. Yeah, there you go. 0 tags even. All right. Haha. Oh, we could have scored. We could have pulled for the agenda. Yeah, we could have maybe pulled a FOI. That's neat. Okay, so we have to figure out how to win here. So basically we need to force them to want to trash one of our things. I want to get rid of the freedom of information. So I think we'll draw once. Nice, hedge fund. I think we just do credit here. I don't like that we're not building on the board state, but we can credit and discard this. I think we lose to this with this if they steal this card, and then next turn we can push out. 0 tags but 0 money, Bologna's safe. It might be, but we didn't have enough, I think, to install advance there comfortably. Because even if they run like HQ and steal 1 pointer, they get a bounce. I think there's a chance. But if we get the Bologna scored out, it's more important for us to, I guess getting to 6 is important. Yeah, you might be right. All right, well, it's back. They played 1 exposed card. If we spend all our time on the checklist, it's pretty bad. If we get the Bologna, again, this is 5, 6, and then the Oppo. Like, we could do this. It's pretty risky. I think I'd actually rather do the freedom information. I never liked NBN, but this feels like what it should have been. I like it. It's gonna be like really, really good. Like this has felt more like, you know, Jinteki Personal Evolution than NBN ever has. So maybe they think this is Bologna. They might let it ride. If it does, we can score this out and still, you know, have enough. If they run HQ too, like the ping is annoying. We have a snare. They can't steal the Bologna from hand, which is safe. Again, we could have pushed the Bologna here, but I think they're going to play around it. Nice, Diesel. Falsified? Guest agenda. Shit. That's why you don't push the Bologna. So now if they want to steal it, it's just a free steal. And they actually have the money. That was a really, really, really good falsified. It looks like it came off the Diesel. I think they missed one of these, but like this is the thing where you want to name the thing that you have to deal with. So now they know that they can run it. It only costs them 1 credit, and then they can end on 7. We can do credit Oppo. And then they have to clear the tags. And if they don't clear the tags, they have a problem. Oh, that's even better. Oh, that's really, really good. I think we're too far behind here. We need an amaze. We need 3 amaze in the deck. This bounces HQ, and they can actually win by running HQ here. They also can lose the HQ by running and hitting a snare. I think the safe thing is click for credit, but the potential to win is just like smash HQ. Because that bravado into like, oh man, maybe if they paid 5 here for the Bologna, we feel a bit better. But they have a chance of winning on HQ for sure. So our turn is like install, credit, and align. Oh, whoa, last click. This can be risky. This actually can be risky. Obviously, if this could win, you have some incentive to run the Spin Doctor because there could be as much as 6 points out of the game here, especially this is last click. But if we hit a Behold, I think we win the game. Nothing. Wow. Okay. We have 13 credits. Public Trail. Ooh, it does get spicy. I forgot we had this one. So I think we do install an HQ. Credit, and then we just end the line. I mean, sorry, Oppo. We won't have the money to res this. Oh, we do. Never mind. The same ping has been back and forth on HQ like 4 times. They don't know that. But yeah, I know it has. So now they clear, they go down to 5 credits, which like still we don't have a window. So yeah, I do think the deck needs 3 AMAs. It seems more important than 3 checklist. Because we're not able to install advanced checklist, and I don't think they have a good incentive to run uniced stuff. So I think the checklist should just become amazes. They're hard to deal with. I do think a buyers also makes sense. We could, in theory, pay for 3 credits, but it's a card that people trash like kind of without consideration. And with Oppo research around, you have to be a bit more considerate. Again, they want to run HQ. Buy a bands, nice. We're 1 credit short of being able to fire what's it called, Behold, which feels bad, but what can you do? Remove a tag, nice. So you got an access for free. What else? See what else they do. Again, they know cards in hand matters. And this, mind you, is also a 5 credit play. If they don't have the 8 credits after they clear all these tags and they have less than 3 cards in hand, like this is a real play. Tuesday stream, what's going on? Love to see him participate. Jam, how's it going? No steal, no trash. Again, there's points in archives. They definitely be running archives. Clear, clear, clear. They saw a starlit night. Okay. So we can do credit, public trail. That doesn't really help us. They're on game point too, so we can't even jam out the Bologna. We're gonna have to force them to make a mistake. This is not great. This is what we got. If this works, it works. I don't think they run though. Yeah, that makes way more sense. Oh, that's ugly. That's really ugly. Triple credit. 3 credits is public trail EOT next turn though. Yeah, they have to run. But it's 5 credits, right? Because it's 2 for this, 3 for that. I just don't think they would run this turn. They have no big incentive to. I think we kind of want to get this somewhere. Take the think tank back off of them. It requires them to have a tag, and we have to remove the tag. Neither of those things are... Well, the first one is not possible, but secondly, how many tags they have actually matters a lot. Like, I think you only do the Oracle think tank if it prevents you from losing, which this doesn't really, or if it's super free, because they have like 12 tags, and 12 tags doesn't matter. But 4 to 5 tags, that's actually a big difference. Is the win condition the kill package? There's a shipment from the Disabirsk as well. We've scored one of these out with fast advance. We were 1 credit short of killing, but it's a mix of like a bit of fast advance and a bit of kill. As much as the kill is only like 3 cards. No, Paul, we don't run a virus, and we should. Because we have 1 influence left over. So we're going to make some changes. We're definitely going to add 3 Amaze Amusements, because it's the only way to make the remote server annoying. Because at this point, they don't have to run the remote server. And this is not going to do anything. Like, if this is reversed accounts, it'd actually be way better than Checkist. So we'll cut a Checkist. People are just not running Checkists. Unless we commit to this. So we advance it once more, they might. Yeah, just click for 3. We're going to lose on HQ. We also don't have an Oppo. We discarded an Oppo. That might be wrong. But we're coming down the graph at which we used to be powerful. We're not that powerful anymore. And I think they realized it, especially because we're not forcing them to do anything because we can't take risks. So they can just sit back and like get 10 credits off daily casts. So that's a problem for us. Nice. Could lose here. Do you have enough money for Bologna? That's super important. We could draw. Not gonna. We could. We might actually want to. It shows that there's something in hand though, and I think playing it cool is a bit more important. So that's it. Hey, good game. Yeah. We can change this. We had some lines. We were very close. Hey, thanks for the game. To take the Oracle? Maybe. Oh. Yeah, it's hard. I don't think you ever want to steal one of those. Yeah, I think they could have let us have the Oracle because it doesn't really do much for us. Like, if anything, you run other centrals and you bounce the Oracle back to hand. Yeah. But we were one credit short from killing, and I think we just have to make a couple changes. Reality modernism, exactly. Thanks to the game. Hey, Unexpected Pineapple, how's it going? New to Netrunner, happy to check out the stream. How's it going? How's Netrunner been? It's a pretty cool game. I think you might have figured that out by now. Ask any questions, say hi to folks. Glad you're in chat. Cheers. All right, cool. Let's do some quick changes. Is the virus good? It's probably fine. It's a thing that they trash, and it's a thing to put in a remote server. I value all of that. It loses as fast as it wins. I think we have a mid game that's okay. I think we have a late game that's bad. Do you hear the jackhammer outside? As much as I hear the jackhammer outside. Okay, Checkist is probably a meme. Amaze at 3 is good. What else do we not want? Reversed accounts is actually better than Checkist, I think. Then we cut the Checkist and we run one virus and we go from here. Let's try that. Just started watching. This is based off of an existing deck or it's a stream brew? Merrick, it's a stream brew that I put together last night in a feverish state. And now we're trying it for the first time. Very much known the jackhammer. It is so loud. Dana, how's it going? Forgot to start streaming on Tuesday. Tuesday at noon 30 is what I'm trying for. How's it going? You doing well? Court. I played during the FFG days a little bit. I'm just starting standard out. Oh, awesome. Standard's in a really good spot. It's really exciting. A lot of stuff is playable. Every faction has something good to do. And standard is really cool. There's win conditions in all directions. Cool, Hosh. Let's see. Hannah's not good for us. This hand is... Like, I think this hand is you just jam out the Bologna. Hey, best of luck, have fun. Also, opponents know what our deck is. Like, we're playing against people who are watching on stream. That's going to give us not an advantage. As much as they might not know card for card. That jackhammer is so loud. I can never hear the construction. That's super, super impressive. I'm going to keep this. We can mulligan, but we could obviously do worse. And I do think we should probably cut down to 44 cards because we do have multi-card combos that we have to produce inconsistently. I'm going to keep this. Hopefully we draw another piece of ice because Hoshiko just wants to send it centrals. That's good. I think we'll do ping on HQ, this on the remote server. And next turn we'll do install advance of Bologna. No matter what happens with it, we're pretty happy because it turns on Oppo research very meaningfully. So we'll see how strong this is. Trashing a Spin Doctor, that's risking Oppo, but I don't think you Oppo on turn 1 unless you have 2 Oppos. As much as like it is, you know, paying 0 credits to give them 2 tags does kind of rule. But here with no breakers, we just do install advance. Hoshiko flip, they're going to be on 9 credits. Go. This deck would ruin me. I can't play smart. I like to just run and smash stuff. Yeah, smashing stuff can be the wrong thing. We res this for free. So the next turn we do credit Oppo. Oh, that's good. Here it's a 1 in 5. If they steal this Bologna, we're happy. As much as they steal both Bolognas, we're kind of ruined. Second Spin Doctor. Okay. If you go down to 44 and run snares, and behold, you can go up to 13.6 chance to hit one of our traps on random axes. Mushin, our like trap hits off centrals haven't been that strong. Like the last game, we really needed a trap hit off of a central. Okay, unfortunately, we can't score Bologna and turn on Oppo, but Oppo is now online because we're going to be a threat 3 in a second. Carmen. Okay, that helps against the Knights. We have a Mindscaping in hand as well. But we are now on threat, and we have an Oppo in hand. So we lost 2 Spin Doctors. So that's going to be pretty important. But yeah, we just pushed those out. Like we push another one out next turn. They have no economy. Like no Fermenter, no Liberate, no daily casts. Hannah's definitely good. We can afford to res the ping on HQ to really put them back, but like if they didn't get an economy, this is hard. This one's better. And they've spent a lot of money trashing stuff, as much as 4 credits. Okay, strike fund, nice. Laborites hitting Patchwork, Cleaver, Dirty Laundry, so this might be closer to the Man of the Moon list. Seems like we're on Patchwork. We have to watch out, obviously there's going to be Steel Skins, not like we're not going to play around Steel Skins. All right. Behold. Enjoy your 2 tags. You have to hand it here if you don't want to float a tag. Oops. If we top deck a pivot, I think we're short to win. And they didn't trash the behold, which is correct. All right, 3 credits. They didn't trash the behold, so now they don't want to run HQ. We're short on credits, but if they trash that, we do credit oppo research. Like, that's, you know, heads up plays. That's what you have to do here. If we do install advance, we don't have enough money to score out. I don't know what we want to do here. I don't know what we want to do. I think we put the blown in the remote server. I think we just do draw blown a credit. Oh, that's better. And then next turn we can do a push, yeah. Why is it correct not to trash behold? Because it turns on oppo research. And so if you trash the behold, you've now have to take 6 tags across 2 turns, and you cannot recover from that. Because you can only play oppo if they've stolen or trashed a card last turn, and so trashing that turns on oppo. You just cannot take 6 tags in 2 turns, in like 1.5 turns. That's way too much, right? Hey Xavier, Mindscaping to put behold back on top? Yeah, we could. I want to keep this for maybe a win con that does damage, but it's not bad. Their economy is just so gutted here that like the face checks are incredibly painful. Right? Like it's so hard to be annoying to Reality Plus and force them to res ice when now they're on 1 credit. Aeneas, okay. So this is that sort of deck. So it's on Maw. So we just do install advance. They don't have the money. They can bounce off the Amaze Amusements. That's a downside, but then they go through the VSA. So like trashing stuff is fun. Yeah, tell me that, Andre. We played the other week. I know how you feel about it. Then I die. Last time we played, you were pretty good at not dying. You're really good at not dying for a while. We were trying really hard to make that not the case. I already have a headache. That jackhammer is not doing it. Yes. It's at capitals. The thing is you have to steal the thing. So if you run it and don't steal, it's not access. So we don't even have to res this. The thing is they bounce off it with Aeneas, but they do end up going through a free VSA that costs them a credit and a tag. So things are pretty... Well, they have a tag now. That is where you get like this is why Amaze is so good. This is so good with the think tank. So they lose a credit. They're going to take a tag. We're going to get 2 credits. We don't have to do anything here. And we can still score out the Bologna. You don't have to access here. If you access here, there's a chance you end up on 4 tags. Because if you think this is a think tank into an Amaze... Oh, sorry. A close prompt. I think you have to write that. VSA is goofed. Cool. Yeah, it's worth noting that VSA does not work appropriately on JNet. So it's an Amaze Amusements, and it's a Bologna. So they're short on credits. We have to score it out. We can discard a card here. Ooh, ugly hand to discard. They're on 5. I think we just market forces and let it cook. That is like their entirety of their economy engine. If we trash one more, where I want to be on 4 credits because of the behold. I think a single Aeneas in 4 minutes is not a problem. Double Aeneas is a problem. We'll do that. Yeah, running last click is pretty difficult. You're expecting that to be a ping, a VSA. A Starlit Knight would have been 2 tags. That's potentially not game losing exactly, but a problem. But yeah, they just haven't built up economy, and it seems like their economy is all that sort of run-based engine, which is difficult. Buy bans, that's fine. Clear tag clicklessly. Draw, access. Could have been a snare, could have been behold, so kind of risky. Even could have been a, what's it called, an agenda. That gives them a tag. Ice Carver, nice. All right, pivot, cool. So we need to discard a card here. I do think actually we do throw out the behold, as like sad as that is. But now we're on game point. The behold is kind of good though. We have the Mindscaping combo if they go tag me. We could throw out a headline. I think our best play is though to put the headline on top of the Maze of Musings next turn, because I don't know how they dig out of that. So I'm gonna get rid of the behold. Zombie, how's it going? Is the stream choppy? It's clean on my side, but I'd be excited to hear what other people say. But I don't have any indications that would be an issue on my end specifically. All right, Hosh flips out. Clean for me, thank you. Thanks, Pineapple. Okay, here we could consider like mindscaping for another piece of ice. Because we have 2 pieces of ice, we can do, yeah, let's just go for it. Fascinating. So here we're just gonna force the issue. Ideally, so if we do the freedom information, they have 3 tags, and then we can fast advance to tomorrow's headline. So this is the sort of forks that you build. We do either want to click for a credit or hedge fund here. If we hedge fund, we have more money. We're not actually going to use that much money. But now if they run this, they don't have a way to break this as a tag, 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 tag. So they're 4 tags in. So yeah, nice shuffle. Thank you. We're going to top deck another hedge fund and be like, what? 4 hedge funds? Yeah, jamming the 3-2 with a maze is so good. I think 3x a maze in this deck makes a lot of sense. People are not prepared for a maze. You cannot clear a lot of tags cheaply in the format anymore. And that's game. That is just game. 1 VSA is all you need. Nice. Throwing out Steelskin to Patchwork to play Dirty Laundry. Going R&D. Super safe into the snare. But we know at the top of R&D. So this run is not amazing. How does the deck capitalize on a bunch of tags? Pineapple, there's a whole couple ways. Firstly, oh, they're looking for it. Oh, I see. You'll see in a second. Big one is we have a kill package. That's not going to happen, but we have a way to fast advance. So there's a card called Shipment from Vladisibirsk that says only if the runner has 2 tags can you put 4 advancements. We also have this card, which will just be scored as a 0-2 agenda this turn. That's a problem. Is the fear tags worse than going tag me? If you have no disruption, no. It is not worse. Going tag me is a problem. Like, we have double pivots. Like, we have a lot of weird lines here. We have to res this. So now they take 4 tags, and this becomes a 0-2 agenda. That's a win condition. We can actually try and for a kill if we wanted to. We can pivot for, sorry, you need to close prompt again. We could do mindscaping into end of line. Can't do that on double pivot, but that's a win condition. You can also do Shipment from Vladisibirsk. We can also like pivot for a freedom information, which I think I'm going to do because it's flashy. But there's a whole bunch of different ways. So we care about hand size and we care about quantity of tags, because 4 tags in, this is a 0-2 agenda. Like, that's real goofy. Going tag me is pretty awful into Starlit Knight and Market Forces. Starlit Knight's also kind of a big one. It's breakable, but just not having credits also with Market Forces, which means 9 of the points in the deck are totally safe. Tag Storm is real. I'm going to do this play because I've never done it and it's fun, which is pivot for freedom information, install, server 1, score. GG. We had one in hand, but that's like way more fun. And that's again, turn 9. They did not have an opening economy. Thanks for the game. I had a good fork early by just pushing Bologna's. Your econ didn't seem to keep up. Pushing Bologna's is so important right now because threat 3, no matter what happens to the text of Bologna, you are so happy. If they steal this, go through your ice and take 5 credits, Oppo is online. If you score this, you've got 5 credits, Oppo is online. Bologna is so central to the fact that this thing says threat 3 on it, and we didn't even play an Oppo research, but the entire game was like based off of the idea that Oppo research exists, which is wild. So wild. Airblades right through that night? Yeah, that's my plan. Sometimes it works. Solomir, how's it going? I keep forgetting you have a second stream day. Yeah, you got to hit that follow button on Twitch. Get that bell. How's your Tuesday, man? It's a bit earlier for you, man. Can the pivot stall be stopped with an SMC clot? It can. The thing, okay, so pivot is a double. Just to make sure we're on the same page here. Again, we have a video talking about timing structure. That doesn't mean you shouldn't ask questions. But, so pivot is a double. And so you pay 2 clicks. And if we're at threat 3, it first allows us to search for an operation or agenda. And then we can install a card from HQ. It doesn't have to be the agenda that we've searched for, but you can do it. Or you can play any card. It doesn't have to be the operation you searched for. But super importantly, what you can do to play around clot. The idea is that if we pivot, we've spent 2 clicks and we've installed the card. Before we take our 3rd click to act, If they had clot, they have to produce clot before we play pivot. Because as soon as we play pivot, we spend 2 clicks and then we install the agenda on the table. We're assuming that the agenda we're talking about is freedom of information. And if there's a freedom of information on the table, we can score this out. And what's very much worth noting, scoring out an agenda is something that's done in a paid ability window. Now, because it's our turn, after we spend our click, we get the priority into the paid ability window between our second and third click. Technically, we do as many paid ability stuff as we want, and then the runner can do as many paid ability things as they want. Because we have priority, but after we spent that second click to get this thing on the table, we can score this out before giving the runner priority. So if they ever want to stop this with a clot, they actually need to play the clot or produce the clot onto the table before we even spend our first click hitting pivot, which is difficult. It's possible, but it's difficult. I think a lot of times you'll see some runners or some shapers, sometimes if things are going really bad, like produce clot on the first click, like maybe install an agenda, then they'll produce clot as a response to that. That just doesn't work against freedom of information in general. Like if we had this in hand, which we did, they would actually have to be like, we have to ask them before we even spend our first click, anything you want to do? And if they say no, we just install freedom and win. Because again, we spend a click installing this thing and then we have priority, we score it, and then they get the first paid ability priority after that. So they can't score it out. So you have to clot before the corp does any clicks, which is really, really difficult. Now, if it was not freedom information, if it was a Bologna, and we wanted to do Bologna advance shipment from Vladisibirsk, they could either pull the clot after the install, or before the install, or after the advance. But as soon as we spend the third click to get the shipment from Vladisibirsk, it doesn't work. So it's really hard to clot. Especially because a lot of people are not expecting pivot into freedom information, because freedom information sees no play. It's not a very popular card. I don't feel so bad about my quick loss. No, it's like totally, it's a thing. Like, the deck is really strong in the early to mid game. If you can get to the late game, that's the thing. I'm expecting a lot of our wins to be quick, and then the losses to be a bit painful slow. But like, as JNet, you just play another game. I went camping over the weekend. It may have caught a slight cold. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully you got some nice tea. I'm gonna get a tea in a second because I think my voice is already not in a good spot. Damn jackhammer. They're doing construction on my street, and because you can't really drive down the street, the mail folks, they just deliver slips instead of packages because they don't park the truck close enough, so they don't carry the packages. So then, like, anytime that you order something, it'll show up a day later. Obviously, first world problems. But I got like Marvel Champions, the 2 Marvel Champions packs, and the co-op expansion for Arnak, and it's going to be a tomorrow problem, which was a bummer because I thought me and my partner would play some Arnak tonight, let alone play some Psylocke. Pivot being an extra click doesn't get a window in between. Exactly, yeah. You don't get an extra click between the clicks. They're just normal clicks. Arsonic could be a problem. Oh, cheers. Oh, hey. That's very kind. Thanks, you too. Stoked about random decks. Oh, Chimera? Is there an event this weekend? Not a popular card for now. Wait until the players see the video and everyone's on it. I think there's R+ decks that haven't been... So, like, when the new set came out, a lot of the R+ decks we saw were, like, the Sparrow Brawler decks or, like, the Horizontal Acid decks, and a lot of those kind of fell out of fashion. I do think there's some really cool R+ stuff, things that you can do. Whether it's this trap deck or not, I'm not saying that's the case. There's a lot of testing that has to be done, but I think the ceiling on R+ in the modern format is really high because nobody can deal with tags well unless shapers and other people are starting to play, like, Airblades, and it only still gets you so far. This hand sucks. It's not awful, but it's not great. It could do better. That seems better. Ask action at random targets. Hey, Raphael, in a tournament setting, how would it be fair play without spoiling the pivot play? Because if you ask, do you want to do anything? It's telling you you're about to play it. No. You can ask. You can definitely ask, is there anything you want to do? A lot of times they'll be confused. Another thing you can do is just wait. Like 20 seconds, 25 seconds, just wait. Again, it's kind of up to you to figure out how long you want to wait. If you do it immediately, the runner will say like, hey, you could have given me an action to think about it. But you just want to wait. At least 10, 15 seconds, just think. And that's it. You can ask. A lot of people say, is there anything you want to do? And just so they can honestly play around it. Because if they pull clot right there, you can just purge, right? Like you haven't spent anything. So it's not the worst thing, but it's not as ugly. Like I've heard a lot of feedback that in tournaments, how do I do this? It's going to be really ugly. And it turns out it's not the case. Oh, we could win really quickly. We could do pivot, end the line. I'm going to just set up money here. The game is clearly an R&D, but so is all our other stuff. That's probably not the best open. But yeah, it's not even that bad. Just waiting is long enough. Just wait long enough. Wait to the point that you'd be happy on the other side to not feel like you're taking advantage of them. But I promise you, I've almost never seen an issue across like playing Netrunner for 10 years at relative top tables to be like, you did not wait long enough. Besides people who like don't wait long enough because they forget like prognostic Q loop into clot is an issue. Like that's the only time that people generally mess up is when they don't realize that you have the ability to produce clot with things like prognostic Q loop or the other one, Gachapon, and that can get missed sometimes. I'm used to Magic where people will say I have effects that you're upkeep. Yeah, people do say that. Sometimes that does matter. Okay, this is Aeneas. That's probably a worse version than the other versions. They saw spin doctor on top and then trash it. That's pretty good heads up play. How's VSA? Jimmy, I think it's really good. It's basically like Turnpike. It's annoying. It forces a breaker, so they can't, they have to find their decoder unless they hush this, because they can't just like smash through this with a slap vandal. 4 cards in hand. Mind you, if they go to less cards in hand, we just win. Do love the Behold. I think with Aeneas, they actually check the Behold on the table. So I'm just going to do that. Go. The best is playing HB and constantly asking them how many cards they have. If they're at 3, say interesting. Yeah, I always ask about cards in hand, regardless if I'm playing a kill deck or not, which kind of hides, you know, buries the lead if you are. But I'm a big fan of always knowing how many cards in your opponent's hand to make sure you know what they can do, how much they have to draw on their turn, how many options they have. So even if you're not playing a kill deck, you should ask. I used to just say, like, click 1 draw. They didn't steal the Bologna. They know what they're doing. So I'm just going to push this in a remote server. We have pivot into Oppo if we need it. They can VSA back, sorry, Urban Art Vernissage back their Ika. But, like, this is what you do. You just force the issue. Because a lot of these decks don't have immense economy built in. Like, sure gambles sometimes that are a minimum. Sometimes, you know, creative commissions get cut. But I don't know if the Aeneas version's always on environmental testing. Played a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom. I can't say Behold without doing the Cyclops voice. Behold, Super Optic Blast. They can consider running this. They know what it is. But again, it's just about economy. Sure gambled, nice. Last click VSA. So we have to ask for action here. Wish we had the Behold in hand. They don't know about this. So we'll res the VSA. So now they're going to end with a tag. That's interesting. They could produce a decoder from hand and get it trashed. Like, that's a line Arsana has. It's not the worst. You have 3 simul chips. But they're going to cube on top of this. So they're going to make money. But they're going to lose a credit, gain 2, and then take a tag, which for us gains us 2 credits. So if they actually hit the freedom, they have to steal it. And then Oppo is online. As much as Bologna on the table is a bit of a liability. Oh, sorry. Trash the Urban Art, maybe, yeah. I think we trash that. It slows down their economy pretty heavily. Pivot. They could trash that. They're not. Aeneas Informant is another incentive not to. So 1 tag. And an Oppo in hand. Okay. That is interesting. Because this gives us like a click here to overinstall and trash this thing. Now, we can only get an agenda with pivot, or we can't get a piece of ice. Yo, Pouch, how's it going? So we know there's a Bologna here. Things we want to do. We want to trash the Urban. We want to market forces. If we had a... Wait, we win. No, we just win. Oh, we're not at threat 3. If we're at threat 3, we would win. Because we could spend double for Mindscaping to get 1 card of their hand and then kill with End of Line. But we just have to get to threat 3. Tempo End of Line is like not the worst. It'd be better if they had their stuff in hand. But we actually would win if we were at threat 3. So I do think we trash this. We could always overinstall on top of the Bologna. I think if they steal it, we're totally fine though. So I think we will just like mess their stuff up slowly. If they just smash through HQ, we're fine. We probably should have drawn first here for market forces. I think we should have drawn first because we want to discard the freedom. Yeah, that turn was scuffed. Because here we either market forces or we put this on the Bologna. Now, every time they go through this, they make 3 credits and take a tag, which is totally fine for us. So I actually think it's better. If the market forces, this is a bigger swing for us. As much as they can bounce off this for a credit. So I'll keep this. I think we're going to throw out the FOI. Yeah, that was weird. Maybe score the Bologna. I don't want to score this right away. It's obviously good that it puts us on threat, but like I think we had to deal with the UAV because their economy engine is how we lose the game eventually. Public trail was an option, but they could have paid for it. It'll be better later. I'm doing okay, Pouch. We got our, like, I've been sick on the weekend and then we got our COVID booster on Monday. Like stomach sick, not like don't go in public sick. And so like, not great, I'll be honest. It really helps to be like on stream. It's a lot easier to not focus on the soreness. Yeah, we were gonna pop up the threat now. I think now we just score this out. Funny enough, public trend and a line. It's something we have to watch out for. We want another ice here too. All right, so we're threaded up. We have to discard a card here. I think the Market Forces might be the card we discard. As weird as that is, because I think we want to push the Bologna. But public trial and a line is a play. We can now also pivot if they get single tag. We'll try this. A Behold wins us the game. Second Aeneas, they can start bouncing off stuff like the Behold. Now, every time they hit this, we can't afford to pay 4. So this is really funny. This is the payoff for this. I thought they'd run this sooner. So that's 2 tags. And they have no clicks left. Oh, that's a good game. Oh, that's GG. Sorry, no action. Just Behold. We put the on the table thinking they would check it for Aeneas, because they usually do, because there's so much click compression on running their remote server. So now that's game. We have all that we need to be game here. So they have 5 cards in hand. So I've never done this. Aren't you critted short? It's 3-6. No, we're perfect. Optic Blast. So we'll do... Where is it? Mindscaping. I've never played this for damage. So that's 2 damage and a line. Fast games. This deck is kind of really cool. This is fun. I got greedy. Maybe. Maybe. It's hard to imagine what punishes you there on the remote. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that might be true. They had an Oiler. I needed to get another ice on HQ. Yeah, it was credit perfect. Yeah. Yeah, running HQ would have made a lot of money. That's a problem. We had to overinstall this. Couldn't find another ice soon enough. So decided just to keep pushing. Thanks for the game. Oh. I just hit the wrong tab. Bologna. Behold won us the game. Hey, Ian. Happy I could join live. Sending you joy and happiness. Thank you, Ian. That's very kind. Hopefully you're doing well too. Okay, we're going to play another one with this. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we're about halfway through, I reckon. That jackhammer is really making my headache worse. So after this game, there's a chance we'll take a 5-minute break just to make tea and get a Tylenol. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, Credit Perfect was really cool. Hey, it's Amarim. Arson is more in vogue. I think the players who might have been a bit, you know, apprehensive have the time to put into the deck, and so you're going to see a lot more of it. Thanks, you too. Yo, Seb, how's it going? Opening hand. Still think the deck should be 44 cards. Maybe we want to work at that at some point. We have to cut a Freedom and 4 other cards. You saw the Public Trail actually being interesting. It's important to keep that in mind. This hand, like Oracle, Think Tank, Amaze, is only good if they run it. It's bad if they do anything else. This hand is like on the cusp of being playable. It has no economy and no ice. Funny enough, having no ice is one of the okay things you can do into Arsana, because only Ika then interacts with the whole damn deck. So I think we can consider keeping. Let's try and keep this. I don't think I would keep this. I just want to see if this is playable, because it all comes down to if they don't run a 2 ice thing, and I don't think they do run a 2 ice thing, unfortunately. You got headphones that may be able to help shield you and still hear the PC. Yeah, but then I start yelling. Like, these headphones are too good. These are the Arctis Pros that were actually a gift from a watcher, from Tim, who was like part of the Steel Series team in Europe and sent us like really bougie headphones. Thank you, Tim. I've had these for now like 3 or 4 years and was not required to say anything nice about the headphones, but the sound canceling, I know I yell. And it's too, I don't want to be yelling. It's going to do my voice in. Hey, Cody. I actually don't know how to spell Cody. If it's with a K or a C or an IE. That can't be how to spell it. I'm just going to try this play. My sympathies about the jackhammer. If you need to bounce, it's fine. We love you anyways. Got to take care of yourself. Ellen, I appreciate it. The thing is, like, I'm still going to be in this room, whether the jackhammer's on or not, because I have to do video editing. So this is at least more fun. All right, my screen is flickering. I don't know if that comes through the screen, but I worry that there's something wrong. Urban and Ika, the one card that doesn't care about, you know, ice. Okay. So they could just keep bouncing that. They didn't run. Mind you, you can always run to install this clickless and get an access, but there's obviously some intrepidation about, like, you know, behold. I yell when I don't have headphones on in calls. There's this thing that comes with, like, I'm assuming it's a European immigrant thing, but anytime, you know, my family is calling, maybe this is mostly my dad, but is calling Europe, because Europe is so far away across the Atlas Ocean. Any phone call is just yelling. It's not that they're not getting on well. It's just like, yeah, you're talking to someone who's hundreds of kilometers away. You got to yell into the phone. No flicker, good. I don't know if the runner ever checks the T1 double installer mode. Yeah, I don't think they do. I think we need to clear this as soon as possible to get a better agenda in it, but I don't want to score this out. We should actually double advance this to make them actually consider running it. I mean, if they're really scared of letting an Ares, yeah, Ares could be real. We're now on the clock because they have an econ engine that is going to overtake us. We could pivot into public trail, but that is all our clicks. So we need a speed run. Yeah, this is a bad reason not to do this, because we need a speed run a threat 3. Because pivot into public trail to trash end testing or urban art vernissage is probably one of the better things we can do. Overinstall poison archives. Yeah, I like that better. I do like that a fair bit better. Go. It's a Bologna. You don't want to steal it, so we'll have it. Actually, how's it going? We are tagging. 3 beholds and a snare. In 1 bar. Umar, watching from the tarmac. At least something fun to do as we're 2 hours into our delayed flight. Oh, so sorry to hear that. Hopefully you're traveling somewhere that's going to make you forget about that soon enough. But thanks for dropping in. I wonder, I think we've had people tuning in from airplanes before, like flying. As much as like airplane internet seems like something that should exist, it doesn't really. Nuka, just not running. All right. Cheeky, score. Just put this on HQ, I think. No, on the remote server. We don't care about HQ. We're credit short a snare. Feels bad. I think I've expected Bologna. I'm just running and clearing the upgrade while declining the Bologna steal. Yes. And that's worth noting. There's no like price sec. There's nothing that gives you tags. I think in the literature talking about the liberation cycle that there's meant to be a sysops that moves for every single faction. So excited to see what the NBN one is going to be, because like we haven't seen an NBN sysop in this side of the set, have we? Currently feels there are no good ways to deal with Tagstorm in the current meta. Solidarity, badge, and networking look like the best we got. Networking is okay. Buy is okay. But I think you're right. Also, Hana is okay. But I agree. It's hard. It is hard. I'm excited for the Wayland one. Yeah, that's true. All right, if we res the ping, they have a tag. That drops us to no credits. We'll do it. Like, it drops us no credits. What is a sysop anyways? It's just a type of upgrade that are meant to be people. They're usually unique. And we started to see sysops that move around. We saw Volvo and we saw Adrian. This seems a bit expensive. Oh, it fires environmental testing. Never mind. Networking is tedious on JNet. Is there not an auto resolve button? Can't snare. Can't behold. System operator. Yeah, that is what it means. Like sysop is a real thing you can be. Public trail trashes is testing. I think that'd actually be worth it if we had the credits, because public trail environment testing is 4 credits. Slap vandals down. This is a Starlit Night. We have a money problem. Just kidding. This is actually pretty good because we want something in the remote server. Unfortunately, it's not that what we want in the remote server. Actually, it is, because I think we need to get to threat 3 ASAP. Yeah, let's just get to threat 3 as soon as possible. Is there any good tech for tags? Wouldn't Tagstorm decks have an advantage? It's more so that like the way that you beat Tagstorm is by having economy, like robust economy. Getting to the mid game and the late game and surviving is pretty important. But like the more economy you have and the click compression, the easier Tagstorm is. We're going to start seeing a Cubon here. Oh, just the eco cycle. That makes sense. So I think that's probably the best way you can deal with it. Like Fermenter, Liberated, that stuff is really good. Hey, no worries. But I don't think there's a lot of cards that inherently until we see the next part of the set. Not at all. Yeah, simply be rich. It's usually the easiest. Wayland Sysop is a lumberjack moving around to slash and burn tree lines. Super interested to see what the Wayland Corporation is going to be doing in the next set. Here's definitely draw the snare just to show off the interaction. Honestly, yeah, maybe. Yeah, there you go. That's what we expected. We expected the Cubone. These Netrunner Zoomers don't know the power of mid-seasons. So it's a snare. They actually know that what we put on the top of the deck is what we put on the top of the deck. So we pay 4 here. What do we hit? We hit a Clot. We hit the Ika. We have a Sentry on the table, and we hit an Echelon. They actually hit 2 of the killers. Not that it's a problem. They have 3 Simul Chips. So if we draw 2 here, we actually add the snare to hand. That's the cool interaction. Even if it's too expensive, if this is too expensive, I'm going to do it just to show you the interaction. If we draw 2, we actually draw the snare and they can't trash it. But in theory, we needed the 2 credits there. Yeah, we're just gonna take the snare. Yeah, you can do that. You can do that with Behold. Anything that they access that gives them a tag, as long as it's not an agenda because it's added to their area, you can draw it out of their hand. It's a really weird interaction. Now we have too many cards in hand. I wonder if your Digital Life makes sense in this deck over Hedge Fund. Maybe not. Actually, maybe. Maybe. We're on low credits often. I think a YDL might just make enough sense. There are 14 credits, though. I would just like Public Trail for fun. I think we advance this once. Throw this into Archives credit. Oh, we could over-install this thing with Bologna. It's a Starlit Knight, though. They'd have to trash one of these. They're making credits on HQ. We've got to the bad state. John, how's it going? It's the ultimate Reality Plus. It's a hard one to deal with. I'd rather have more credits than these 2 cards in hand, let me tell you. Yeah, we're just going to push the issue. So we want to be able to res Starlit Knight. You thinking what I'm thinking? You thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah, I think we'll change YDL. Gotta be something with Archives, right? With armed acid protection and slash and burn. Yes, I do think we're going to see more expendable stuff. So like the face-up armed acid protection econ card becomes playable. Changeling Planogram is in the list. I think I want to cut the hedge funds for YDLs and keep the Planograms in. Because like Planogram for a kill combo deck, you know, you'll love to see it. Can't stop it with TLAs. We just say Yodel. What does any of that mean? How's it going, Phil? I don't know if you've said hi. 3rd environmental testing. Okay. What is the flavor of a runner earning a tag when stealing a think tank? The information that they got was barbed. They're running with a click left. Good. That's what you want to do. There's a kill combo here. Yeah, we've ended the line in Mindscaping. We killed her in our last game, as much as we've been fast advancing out of most other games. Oh, excuse me. I also like the one... Okay. I think the whole thing about like Analytica and the religious tones to it so far haven't come through in the set. And I'm really excited to see what comes up later in the set. Because like, I honestly don't know what's going on here. The sort of like cyber religion thing. Because there's somebody behind the Oracle think tank that nobody has seen. And understanding what that is, from my understanding. There's a planogram. I think we just do advance. We do planogram for 3. And planogram's also really good with YDL. Like we should probably do that. The archive run is going to be really gross. It's going to be really gross. As much as we only get 2 credits, it'd be gross. What if it's League of Legends and a Yordle? I don't know how to spell any words. Okay, so we have to think this through. Action. Starlit Knight doesn't get hit by Hush here. Yellow level clearance, exactly, yeah. Wayland's blushing, or sorry, HB's blushing. So the Starlit Knight will give 2 tags. The only other way is like to simul chip whatever they install probably from hand to pull it back. So they're hushing it. That's good. Okay, cool. So the threat force hex on this doesn't matter. So all good. Technically, they could still do stuff with simul chip. So I'm just going to double confirm that they want to close the window here. Captain Timo on duty. So if we res the Starlit Knight, we go down to, depends if the fires or not. We're going to get our ability anyways on Amaze Amusement. So we want to make them spend some amount of money here. So this is the Starlit Knight. If you haven't played that text adventure, it's so good. It's really fun. Timo trauma flashbacks. They've updated Timo to make Timo even more fun. It was like years ago. So there goes the Hush. Echelon comes in for 2 strength, so it's only 2 credits. That was a pretty bad trade overall. But if you want to steal the Bologna, it's 2 tags and 5 credits. So if anything, they probably trash the maze and come back. Which, like, that's the bad part about putting Bologna on top of a maze. They stole it? I thought they would just trash it and come back. Because this only costs you 2 credits. And then you can even put a Cubone on it. There's no... I think that's a mistake. Because that 2 tags is not worth a run for 2 credits. They hit environmental testing, though. Their money's not that bad. Behold in hand. Unfortunately, we go down to 0 credits if we oppo research here, but I think we have to. We just have to slow down. Yeah, they got good economy. This is where, like, tags, you just win by having more economy, because they just have enough economy to deal anything we throw at them. Public Trail is online too, but they have to pay 8 for that. So we basically want to get them to low hand size, and then ideally we like Public Trail into end of line with, like, technically it's possible here. But not because we can't double pivot. We only have one of those cards. All right, 1 credit stinks. Behold and be amazed. Yeah, we're not going to afford it, though. Probably forgot as I did that you can decline Bologna. Yeah, you can decline Bologna. Okay, so their credits, a bit different. This is not that expensive to run. This is where you, like, you put something in there. This is okay. Getting to 4 credits seems kind of important here. Again, if they trash this, we can maybe do Public Trail into something. But the problem is, like, we have to draw that something. So I'll just do this. Still not enough money. I used to main Teemo. I haven't played in a long while. I haven't played League of Legends in a really long time. I still, like, keep enough plugged in to know, like, the names of new champions, but I don't know. I played a lot of League of Legends back in the day. Damn it. We're short on Snare and Behold. Behold Corn. Nice. Their economy is going to be limited here. Oh, Pivot. That's a really, really good trash for them if they want to do that. I'd argue they can afford it. But that is the, like, the toolbox card that gives us the option to, you know, close the game. And, like, in theory, next turn we can do advance, and absolutely gut their economy. And so far, they played every environmental testing. They've played a creative commission, a dirty laundry. So they have probably 2 more creatives, 3 sure gambles. Sometimes they cut either the creatives or the gambles. We haven't seen if they're on prognostic. Oh, they left us the pivot. This is not a deep dive. This is a last click access as well. This can be risky. Metropole Grid and April Fools, we all just load up Legal Legends and absolutely suck. 8 credits. Public Trail safe. I think the fact that you have no Rashidas in your deck is a bit suboptimal, as now runners are forced to run unadvanced cards. Yeah, Rashida is something... They didn't steal that. Rashida is definitely something we would consider. They trash our reversed accounts. I think we can consider Rashida for sure. I cut it from the deck because I thought we'd be, like, going more horizontal, but we're putting something behind an ice. I think Rashida makes a lot of sense because that's something that they definitely want to trash. So we can do this to put them down to 1 credit. Huh. Yeah, it's wild how we don't have Rashida. Especially if we put YDL in it. Yeah, exactly, John. So thinking here, we can do credit pivot to give them a tag. Market forces to take their money. It would also be cheaper just to hit the reversed accounts. Rashida forces in the direct. Yeah, you don't have to convince me about Rashida. We definitely should be playing Rashida. There's just a slots issue. And I thought we'd be more of a trap deck, but we're actually icing stuff up. So this is not if able, but I think us spending a click. So I think we do click. We just end on less than 4 though. I think we'd do something like this. Your money's gone. Yeah, we are at 49 already though, Axu. There's no sheets in the list because I thought we were playing a trap deck, and I don't love Rashida and Never Advanced Trap, especially because we cut the checkist. But we're actually not the sort of deck that we thought we were. Like, we also don't have that much ice, but I do think you'd want to play Rashida for sure. Okay, so there's nothing that fires here besides the one tomorrow's headline. Okay. I don't think you trash that. They trash that. That's risky to oppo. I don't know if you trash that. Maybe if you want to go back, but, like, it's a really bad draw for us. They know we have a blown in hand. Creative here? What is this? A Unity. Okay, that's fine. We have code gates. Okay. So they trashed. So in theory here, we actually can predict a planogram to go to 5, and then we're short. We could give them 1 tag. We need to get better with this. We need to do more value with this thing. I think we just get to 3 and double advance, but that still puts us below Behold and Snare, which is really rough. We'll force the issue here. I don't want to go to 54. Like, obviously we don't, but it is technically a combo deck. Like, here we need to draw into a public trail or something to have a chance. And so, like, the fact that we're, you know, making it harder for us to assemble 2-card combos, because this deck inherently is like a 2-card combo deck. There's no one single card. And, like, having Oppo in our hand every turn is probably important enough to go down to 44. So, we'll see. Again, if they're on creative, it's hard to get this. They'd have to do creative run. Don't forget you get 3 points in archives. I haven't forgotten. I'm hoping that they forget at some point. But yeah, that puts them on 6 points really soon. At least though, if they run that and they don't win, we can like shuffle some of these back at worst case scenario. Like they stack really well. More cards like almost always wrong in Corp. Yeah, there's some that it's more wrong, right? Like I'm not a big fan of playing Big R Sonic because it's so like they haven't had a lily pad yet. You know how much free card draw they get if they find a lily pad? And then if you play 3 or 4 more cards, there's a chance that you draw your lily pad 2 turns later. And that's not great. So certain decks are worse than others, right? Like you can argue playing Glacier, whatever, Ag Infusion, just having more cards is fine. Archives poison slowly poisoning us. We'll be fine. We'll find a spin doctor. My screen is flickering. That is really concerning. Nothing? Okay. Creative Commission here would be the best, I think. This puts us on game point and gives us enough money to do all this sort of stuff. I still believe in Big Op. Oh no, don't hit our Behold, no. Beans. Imagine the last click into Behold, but I think they would have ran differently. They know that we had a snare in hand. It might be in archives. Miss Bones, Vernissage. We could do credit Oppo. It puts us on 0 credits. Is credit Oppo better? They know we had this too, and they still trash the Behold. Like that's where things get really, like, really interesting. I think we just score it out though. Oppo for 2 instead of 4, maybe, but I think they can clear the 2 tags. Clearing 4 tags is impossible. Clearing 2 tags is totally doable for them. This also makes us so that we can still fire snare in the 2 Beholds in R&D, so I feel a bit better about it. So I like Isla, actually, I see her as a 41 card deck. Usually put stuff I don't want early on R&D. Yeah, but Pink now with like, what's it called? With Dao, you don't have to play a 41 card shaper with a blank ID text. Not that it's blank, but like, there's shapers that have actually pretty reasonable IDs that have 40 card minimums. Can't steal, can't trash. Only 1 Bologna left. Okay, they have money. Don't they know an Oracle went to the bin? I think they'd guess so. So maybe they know they're on 4 points available. Yeah, I think they're guessing that we probably overinstalled. I think we overinstalled twice even. I have no idea. It's hard to tell what they think about archives because online it's easy to like miss that. In person, you'd probably have a better read on your opponent. Nice. 8 credit econ card. Seems good. Comes down for free. So now anything we put in their mode server, they have to consider running. That's the big thing. Anything. They have a clot. I think here we have to do a hedge fund install snare in their mode server. I think we have to. They know we have a hedge fund. Let's draw once, hedge fund install. They have to check this. Because we're on game point. They could try and just win off of a deep dive. If they run archives, they do win off of a deep dive pretty hard. We're taking some risks here for sure. That was a really good daily cast. Having an 8 credit install there is super important. But they understand here this could be so many things that like if it's a tomorrow's headline, we just jam it. They know we still have a snare in hand unless we discarded it, which actually might be what they think they discard. Okay, this is good. This is what we want. As much as this gets broken for free. Yeah, for free. And if they trash the maze, we're in a good spot. They also could reflexively trash the snare, which is probably incorrect. I think you want to access the card that you don't know sooner than the maze because you're forcing yourself to spend information or to like spend credits without. Ooh, hit a conduit. That actually makes them more powerful because they can get it for cheap. Because now they simul-chip the conduit down. That actually saves them money. 2 tags, 6 credits. If we top deck a public trail or end of the line, we win. Does that win? No. The muscle memory to auto trash is rough. Yes, you have to consider it. Okay. So if we had a public trail or an end of line, we do pivot for public trail, and then we end the line. Unfortunately, we can't do that. We can give them one tag and then take away 3 credits, but that's not good enough. So I think all we have to do, and I think they're going to try and win off the conduit this turn, once we bury them with tags. So we have some incentive to do mindscaping. If we mindscaping into both the end of the line and the public trail, we win. Otherwise, we could keep this in hand to try and win next turn. And I think actually killing with the mindscaping is easier than trying to kill with anything else. So yeah, we could. It's very rare that we win off of this. Finding a spin doctor also would be important because I'm kind of scared about archives, let's be honest. Yeah, I'll do it. This shit. That's bad. Oh, that was the thing we were going to put in the remote server. Not good. I think we just do credit end of the line here, or credit oppo, and see what they do. Jam it, it's hard, because they don't actually spend that much checking it, and then they went off of running archives. So we have a window here. It's not very good. I don't know if that was the optimal thing. Yeah, this is what I expect them to do. So maybe jamming it was correct. Sometimes you just draw that, though. So now they're going to start on 2 credits. Damn. Having a pink here would be good enough. I'm just worried that they're like have the heads up play to do tomorrow's headline run archives. That would be a problem. Every time I'm mindscaping, I'm surprised when I draw the card I put on top. I know, and like considering mindscaping is going to be a draw card, it's not. It just moves your cards around. It's like not a great draw card. So this is 2 credits. They'll have actually 2 credits. So we could do install. Let's try something like this. Next turn, we can't end the line. We don't have enough money. Let's click to draw plus 2 credits. Yeah, which like, it's better than green level clearance, I guess. I just don't know. Safe R&D is okay. DJ, oh, they're going HQ here. That's important if they hit the behold for sure. So now they're master grifting. I think the cool thing is like using it the way that like it's used in Ag Infusion to like get an agenda onto R&D and then spin Doctor 3 agendas back. Like that's the cool thing. Come on, hit it, hit the behold. They're gonna get 2 economy cards here. I don't think they have 2 creatives, so I don't know what they can play as economy last click. Dirty Laundry or Creative Commission. Market Forces. Wait, do we win? I should have done Creative Commission because they're likely to play a last click, and then we win. I made a mistake. Never mind, we good. We good. Oopsies. Oh no. All the think tanks. Oh no. My poor tags. Oops. Too many tanks. They can't refuse to steal these. So they'll be on 6 points. There'll be 3 tags in, and we actually can pivot to end the line instead of like doing anything charming. Because we have to win in the remote server. I was working on that for a while. I see you found my collection. It can be your collection now. Full playsets sell for more. You're very lucky. Film Critic even gets bodied by this. As much as you can do Film Critic, and then I think you can't even cycle them. We're going to go for the end of line, I think. It's more fun. Pivot for end of line instead of scoring for style, 100%. Yeah, there's no way to clicklessly draw. Full playset? Oh, so cool. Action. Like here we win by shipping from Vladisibirsk. We win by pivot for the 4-2, but they could... Like in theory, if they produce Clot here, we have 3 different win conditions. We can pivot for freedom information. Oh no, because they can after we install them. All right, well. GG. Woo! Early game was kind of scary. Thanks for the game. I was hoping to ride out all 3 early and testing. Yeah, the 3 early invent testings is like exactly how you beat this. You just have more money. But the thing with the Arsana decks, like if you're not making a massive value off of like a double Cubon, and some of the decks are down to 2 Cubon, like I think you can beat it on economy. Yeah. Should have Mad Dash? Tell me about it. Mad Dash, no one's playing it. For better, for worse. But like Stargate's not as popular as it used to be. Should I use shipment for style? Yeah, we could have shipment this. We could have just scored it out. There's a lot of ways we win. If we do a pivot though for environmental testing and they pull a clot, then we just shipment this one, which is also very funny. It's very, very funny to do that. We can also shuffle them 1 back. Yeah. Are you on Lilypad or the other one? What's it called? Panto. Okay. I need some tea. So, okay, cool. And again, you need to find it. Yeah. Huge difference finding that early. Imagine they found Lilypad early, you know, they would be on no cards in their stack left, which like means no more economy, stuff like that. Turn 16, Daniel, no spin. You're right. There was no spin. And we might have been tempted to fix archives, which was not right. Spin coming up though, as much as we did just shuffle, so what does it matter? S1 tomorrow? Sorry? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're asking if this is tomorrow's headline. Yeah, and we had Vlad from hand, so. Yeah, I think no matter what, it's a bit ugly. They could have got through this, probably. Cool, thanks for the game. That screen flicker is really scaring me. I don't know if it's my graphics card or my monitor, but that's an expensive problem. All right, we're gonna go get some tea real quickly. I'll put the music on. It's gonna take me about 2 minutes, maybe a bit more. No, I just gotta put the water on. It's gonna take me like 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Hopefully just the cable, yeah, that'd be the best hope. And like we're cabled through many things. Like we're cabled into capture card. We're cabled into a whole lot of different stuff. So there's a lot of cables to test. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna throw some music on and then we'll get some tea. Give me a minute. A minute, just a minute. going? Welcome back to Métropole Grid. Let me catch up on chat. It's really cold in here. The other room was warm. So many style options. Hopefully just the cable. Streamer taking a break is a good time for you, the viewer, to also break. Get up, stretch your legs, cycle fluids. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you. I'm not the most educated on this, but wouldn't be a graphic card issue come across on the stream? Levi, I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, I think it would. I think it makes more sense that is the cable. That would be my guess. That will give me some I'll rest a bit better. Driving home from an evening of the in-person NR, finding the Metro live stream on the train. Nice, Giannis, how's it going? Depends on the issue if it's a rendering unit or the output of the monitor. Oh, that is true. Technically, you're right. It could be the output of the card as opposed to the card itself, but I'd be surprised. I think the cable makes more sense. Hey, Phil Hart, Netrunner, how's it going? How you doing? Giannis, how was the in-person NR? Was it casual or something more structured? Hey, Wink, shout out to the folks I met yesterday at a game store in Durham, North Carolina, that's rocking a solid local weekly in-person Netrunner scene. Is that like Eric and his crew? Oh wait, North Carolina, Durham. Sorry, I thought like New Hampshire. That's dope. Actually, I think I know a couple players who are playing in that area. How's it doing? I've been welcomed, but I know not who speaks. What's up? Yo, Cody, how's it going as well? Shout out to the game on channel, playing some Arasana. Have you even continued to grind? Casual. Okay, cool. Yo, actually, I want to say this real quickly because this is pretty interesting. Standard and startup decks wild mix. You can mix them pretty fairly, I think, which is kind of cool. Okay, many moons ago, 2 years ago, we did some sort of like replay review stuff. I think this video turned out really well. It was not meant to be like a seminal piece of Netrunner content, but it's actually one of the most viewed things on the channel, in which we went through a replay matchup of two players who are relatively new to the game, and basically went through like some fundamentals, talking about like, oh, this is what you can do to improve play, because this was actually a really good clip for it, because there were a lot of like, I would say, things that are very easy to identify as like, you could do this a bit differently and get good results. So this turned out really well, and there's been a lot of people asking like, are you going to ever do anything like this again? I don't know between now and Worlds, because CanNet stuff is just absolutely eating up my Netrunner time, whether we're going to get anything really structured like this, as much as it's something I'd want to revisit. But currently, locally, for the folks who are getting ready for Worlds, there's like a Slack channel in Montreal in which everyone's talking about like, oh, what do you think about this deck lists? And I'm a bit frustrated because I think too much percentage of the time in that channel is talking about deck lists as opposed to piloting. And I think piloting is the much harder problem with Netrunner. I think if you build the best deck list in the world and you don't pilot it optimally, I think that's worse case than, you know, net decking a medium deck and then like just playing it as well as possible. So I've been offering to do like some replay reviews to talk about stuff just internally within that. And I think that might be a fun thing to do. So I think we'll pick a date exactly when to do it, but we'll be doing this much more casually on a stream. So if you want to submit a replay so that we can go over it live on channel and talk through some stuff and some lines, whether you're preparing for Worlds, whether you want to just like, you know, go through some of your play patterns, stuff like that. We will spend a stream. It'll probably be, if not this Tuesday, next Tuesday. Sorry, if not next Tuesday, Tuesday after. I think it'll probably be this Tuesday that we can do that. So if you have any sort of deck lists that you want to submit, ideally you have a consent from your opponent so that, you know, both players can feel good about it. If you do not have consent from your opponent, that's actually okay, because we can go and we can excise their name by editing it in the like inspect element tab. So we can actually get around that. Ideally, you do have consent. And if that's the case, hit me up. You can find me on metropolegrid@gmail.com. You can send a replay over there, a link. You can find me on what's it called? Discord, if you're there as well. But send stuff over. Specifically also, like, it's hard when it comes to like really goofy janky decks. Like, I don't want to say don't submit it, but like goofy janky decks, it's a lot harder to like figure out what you should be doing anyways from a distance. So like if you have good fundamentals like Arasana, Hoshiko, stuff like that, I think those are easier to dissect, to be like, we can focus more on the play patterns than like, oh, you installed Network Exchange before you installed, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, we need to focus a bit more on piloting, I think. So QTM is almost all the piloting combos and voiceover replays are during 2v2, 3v3 games. You can discuss lines, tactics, and strategy, but it's hard to do it in a general way. Yeah, no, exactly. It's hard to do it in a general way, but I think there's like really big generalist questions that help a lot. Like I know we've been talking about this on stream recently, and it rings true. It's like click one if you're playing against HB, if you're playing against Wayland, Like, why are you not charging the remote server? You should be charging the remote server. There's no ice that stops you from like, that it really hurts you in any meaningful way until MIC becomes really popular. And even if they go down to 0 credits rising at MIC, I think you're fine. But like, these are the sort of things that should have more conversations than they are, because I don't know. In Montreal, there's so much discussion about the actual deck, like having this deck. Is this the best deck? Is this going to win you the matchup? And I think it's not actually the case. Saisentan, well, it's different in Jinteki. Yeah. Behold the mustache progress visible here. Yeah, that's true. This is 2 years ago though, and I had no intention of growing a mustache. It was just, that's what happens to your face every once in a while. That is very funny. It's true. Would love to hear about piloting. Okay, perfect, Seamer. Can you remove the names also in the inspect element thing? Yeah, you can. You can. You can also remove this bar at the bottom if you want to. I don't mind it. It does kind of, you know, betray the future, but it's easy to jump around. But you can remove just about anything. It's pretty easy. Treb can make you sad against outfit. Not on turn 1. Like, click 1, run the outfit remote. If they res a trebuchet to give you bad publicity on turn 1 and it has no text besides Trace 6, you're happy. Happy. Saisentan from HB. Absolute. Should be illegal. Should be illegal. Cool. Replay review would also make for some great educational content. Yeah. So if you are brave enough to submit a replay, again, we're not going to like, we're going to be critical, but we're not going to be like, what are you doing? We're going to be like, oh, this is a line that you could consider. I think if you do this, you're in a better spot. And I'm going to do something internally locally for Montreal. And it's fun. It's good fun. It's, I think, a really easy way to like dissect play, which is great. If you lose to Saisentan on HB, you haven't learned anything though. Be right back building Saisentan on HB. I struggle with piloting as a new player. I'll check fundamentals vid. Yeah, Pineapple. It's a pretty good video. You can find it on the front page of the channel. Otherwise, if you search fundamentals, you'll get there. Apparently, it's League of Legends 2009. But it's an old meta because this is like really old Netrunner cards. I think it's all FFG cards, if I'm not mistaken. But the basis of like understanding how to play against HB, how to put on pressure, how to make runs to force the corporation to res ice, how to like challenge economic assets because they have to pay to protect them, and then that makes them a bad interaction, and then if they flood up, you can run HQ. Like all this sort of stuff is like super visible in this game, as much as this meta is like obviously not even representative of what it was 2 years ago. But it's good. It's really good. Okay. What are we doing? I kind of wanted to grind some good Ari, but I'm pretty sure we're going to play this for Decklist of the week, so I don't think we have to. So I think we'll wait for Thursday and just like focus on playing good stuff Ari, because I haven't had enough time just to grind good stuff Ari, because good stuff Ari is fun. It's really fun. So at the risk of like playing NBN all day, which kind of I want to do, is there anything else anyone's really excited to see? Otherwise, we might just go back to Reality Plus. I also don't know, like, in terms of, you know, making stuff that's interesting to watch, is it more fun when we spend more time on one deck or we jump between more things? So I don't actually know. I remember watching the video when I first was learning to play. Boy, time flies. It really does. It's really wild. But I think, I don't know, my perception of time has been really bad for the last couple of years for many reasons. But yeah, that was 2 years ago. Phoenix Essa. Daijin, how's it going? Make a deck with front company? Oh yeah, we could do that. That's hard. It's really difficult. I think we'd end up playing like a bad version of Acid Op. Love to see Matea. Haven't seen enough and they're interesting. Oh, Dana, we'll do Atea because I want to revisit the Atea deck we built on deck 1. This is the Essa deck that Jane shouted out. Oh, wow. Yeah, I saw this one. This is not my style because it has 2 buffer drive and a synth gland in it. But in short, this is an Essa deck that wants to deep dive. Neat. Abassi, Cleaver, Num. Abassu, excuse me. Alago, Piranha. I don't know, man. What is it going to take me to be like, yeah, you want to really play buffer drive? I don't understand how to play buffer drive. This deck doesn't have a lot of money either. It doesn't have a lot of money. I don't get this. Wackiest deck there ever was. Yeah, this is wild. I find the Essa results to be like super polarizing. Because sometimes just like sending it, sometimes aggroing down. There's like an unfortunate thing that we have in like the top cut of Canned Nats. There's a matchup between Essa and then the Asa group deck. And like, okay, I'll ask you, chat, what's the first thing that you do against Essa? And like, this is why I think fundamental replay reviews are so important. What is the first thing you do against Essa? Time flies when you're having base boosted static noises. Ice HQ. Yeah, it's Ice HQ. Ice Archives? No, I don't Ice Archives. I think against Essa, so like Jackson, how's it going? I don't think you often Ice Archives. You want to Ice HQ. And this is exactly why I'm excited to do more replay reviews, to put out like more structured stuff like this. He yells, take a dunk. So Icing HQ is a... This deck doesn't have Hushik in it. It doesn't have Finality or Hushik. What the heck is this deck? What is this? Okay, so let's look at a different ESA deck because this deck is fundamentally unique. But generally how like ESA decks look is like this. Finality does see play, Levi. That's why I'm surprised. Generally, Finality is a 1 or 2 of. I also just can't believe people are cutting legworks from ESA decks. But so this is the... Am I washed? Is everyone just not playing Hushik anymore? Okay, so these are 2 really weird ESA decks. Let's go find a third ESA deck to prove my point. F it, I'm going here. Carpe Diem is better than Bravado is a take. Yeah, I think that's a take for sure. I don't agree with that. You're looking for the wrong card? Wait, was it there? Oh, it wasn't this one. Okay, thank you. Okay, there's no way we were wrong on 2 of them. I was looking for a Chistushka under K for some reason. I think I got Katurgid. Okay, sorry, back on track. This is the most powerful single card in most ESA decks because it forces you to sabotage 4. Sabotaging 4 is a lot. It's very much worth understanding that sabotage is not something that scales linearly, it scales exponentially. Sabotaging 1 every other turn is pretty easy because you can throw out the worst card, let alone you could yellow off the top of the deck if you really want to. You probably should avoid that in most cases. But sabotage 4 is really difficult because as soon as you get rid of the 2 best cards or worst cards from HQ, you're now starting to hit like random cards off the top of R&D or like really bad cards. And that's again why I like legwork, because if they throw out all their bad cards from HQ, all the stuff left in HQ are just bangers. So a lot of times the first thing you want to do against HQ is ESA's Ice HQ, so they can't just Chistushka you for like minimal pressure. As I generally put 1 ice on HQ as soon as I can against Chistushka, and then put a 2nd ice in front of that into the mid game, because ESA inherently is pretty bad at finding breakers. Let alone the breakers aren't amazing, but ESA, a lot of them times you're going to see Banhar, that definitely helps. Sometimes you see Boomerang and Botchel, stuff like that can help. Boomerang's a bit rare. But to me, that's fundamentally what you have to do against ESA. Unfortunately, we have a top cut game where I think the core player did not have any experience or very minimal experience into ESA, and so like you just didn't see that happen. And so you see sabotage 10 in a single turn, which is like, that's a problem. That's obviously just a problem. So that's what I mean. And when we're talking about why we don't ice archives, I think I actually did talk about this in a deck dive a long time ago. But the reason why we don't ice archives is like, unless they win off of archives, they all honestly, ESA doesn't have to run archives that commonly. Like ESA runs archives in a game 2 or 3 times. So you're actually much better off placing that ice in positions that help you score out or help you stop letting the sabotage happen. So while finality can happen, I don't ice R&D turn 1. Finality will probably happen early to mid game, so you want to get an ice there eventually. But the idea is that if you stop the sabotage from happening, you don't have to worry about like running archives. Because inherently, HQ you have to run. Archives you have to run 2 or 3 times, so spending a good piece of ice on archives, if ESA only runs it once or twice and wins the game, you don't get good value from your ice. And a lot of times the ice is a bit taxed out, so yeah. Click 1 Chistushka is not great though. Corp has way too much control. Yeah, I don't think you do click 1 Chistushka, but like you want a Chistushka in the early game if you can. I don't think you click 1 mostly because economy's busted, but if you can do like, you know, sure gamble into like, heaven forbid, a Marrow and the Chistushka survives and then you send the Chistushka, or I guess Ghost Tongue would be better. I think you can just do that, especially if they go down to 3 cards because they like ice R&D, ice the remote server, put a Rashida in there. Where like there's a lot of things you want to do in that turn, but like Chistushka is the most powerful single card in the deck, I would argue. You're sleeping on buffer drive. Get ready to empty your stack and use Audrey to trash strike fund buffer drive into deck. Draw with Anakom. Do this in runner and corp turn drip for 4 turn. Can't be bad. It can be bad because you've lost the game already. How's it going, Connor? You've lost the game because the corporation was able to do stuff while you installed all that nonsense. And that's a problem. It's like corp games are not going to turn 18. They're going to turn 12. So that just fundamentally does not happen. So it doesn't feel good. I don't remember which one of Sokka abridgment always sabotage top of R&D. Oh, I'm not too sure about that. I actually haven't caught up on EMEA Continentals in a bit. I added subliminal to my decks to try to cut down the damage sabotage can do. Any better answers? I don't think I would be like, this is the issue with sabotage is right. If you're playing a card like subliminal into your deck to be able to like slow down sabotage, you're in fact slowing yourself down arguably worse. It is true. Subliminal messaging is pretty good into ESSA, and like if this card is good into your deck, that helps. But if this is a mediocre card in your deck in most matchups, and ESSA can run every turn if ESSA really wants to, you're probably better off with a card that actually helps you close the game and moves the attention away from centrals to the remote server sooner. So the question is like, is Subliminal better than having like a defensive upgrade on a remote server or on a central server so ESSA cannot even consider Shishtushkaing? That's the way I see it. It is definitely worth noting that the decks that play Subliminal well, Subliminal is really good into ESSA, that's for sure, into Sabotage in general. But that's the way I see it. It's like, I want to go faster usually than I want to play like a weird, in a lot of matchups, a suboptimal economy card. Eye Confusion is a great idea if you just want to make ESSA players sad. Yes, there's a lot of ways to make ESSA sad. Bladed Barrier is pretty messed up. Gatekeeper Drafter, a lot of the good HV Ice is pretty good into ESSA in general. There's, it's not perfect. Begamot to deal with Brandon's incredible. It's a possibility. You can definitely do it. I've never seen anyone play Begamot, but it seems good. I'm struggling to tell when to check archives as ESSA. It's hard. It's tricky. Paying attention to where the sabotages come from is really important. One of the best things when play ESSA, and I've seen way too many people do that, is like if there's clearly a card on the table that's a Spin Doctor, you need to contest that before sabotaging. And I think you also see this on Can Nats, where like there's a Spin Doctor on the table, and that is the turn the runner sabotage 10. And I'm not going to spoil the outcome of that, but like you definitely want to contest the Spin Doctor before you do any sabotaging. So if there's a Spin Doctor, heaven forbid an unnice Spin Doctor, just run it. Just run it. Because you have to protect these if you can in the matchup. What do you think the ratio is corp of hand versus deck should be? I've recently been doing heavy deck in my ESSA recently. It depends on what you have in hand. It depends on the matchup. It's not like, I don't think there's a number. I think people are less interested in trashing from HQ when they can. If you think that ESSA can get into HQ with a legwork and they'll cost you the game, obviously that's a problem. I think going off the top of R&D when you have a Spin Doctor, that makes it a bit safer for you because, you're not losing tempo by losing cards in hand. But there's no like answer where it's like 60-40, 70-30. It's totally dependent on board state and the matchup and what you're playing. Now, my idea, the Buffer Drive Strike Fund Audrey interaction was brought to you by the same mind that brought you Diaper. Isn't it worth it? No. When I play a lot of ESSA, I don't mind seeing cards come from hand. It usually means the corp is feeling the pressure. Yeah. Like there's no right or wrong thing universally. But off the top of the deck, like I've seen players just like rip off the top of the deck. You run Archive, steal 6 points, and then they like GG and quit the game. And like, I get it, but also you did that, right? Like it's random, but also it's like, look at it as if it was a run R&D with a Maker's Eye. Sometimes you steal 6 points. Like choosing where to sabotage from is just you having a decision on where the multi-axis comes from, but it's more powerful multi-axis sometimes because it destroys. So keep that in mind, right? Like if you just lose to R&D mill, stop R&D milling. There's no Netrunner game that's taken without risks, though. I've been grinding ESSA, and yeah, it doesn't mind if you ice archives like ever, unless you're getting 3 layers of ice. But if you're making them commit 3 layers of ice, you rush other servers. Yeah, the price of icing up archives is generally too expensive for how fast you need to go into the matchup. Because that's also a really big thing with ESSA, is like the longer the game goes, the more sabotage you're going to get. And like we get greedy decks with like 3 labor rights that are hoping to find a late game where this matters. Not that this card actually can be played on tempo with some of the strike funds and steel skins. It's just like you do not want to go to turn 18 against ESSA. So you have to go faster. Oh no, you didn't ice archives and ESSA got a free run into archives? Wait, Jackson, I'm not sure the tone I meant to read that in. I'm hoping we'll get more alternatives to every deck needing 3 pinholes in the next set. I do like where the power of assets are generally, but the Managarm form thing feels very unintended. Yeah, it's hard to say, Dana. I do agree that the one card, as much as it is one influence, is carrying a lot of weight. We do have, mind you, what's it called? The ESSA one that you can play, in theory, that Light the Fire. That's not the exact same thing, but there's like a really weird issue. The problem is if you print too many pinhole equivalents that every faction is playing it super easily, then, defensive upgrades and powerful assets get worse. So it's a hard line to do. I'm surprised I haven't seen Begamot with Palangi or Lamb. Is it worse than I think it is? It's not worse than you think it is. It's probably okay. That's like 4 MU though, right? Because they're all super, super MU. And you have other ways, right? Like Banhart kind of does enough. It kind of really does enough. So. Kayambe Grid die for Forma Carry Sins? Yes, but also Kayambe Grid probably. I don't think you want to play against Kayambe, even if there's no Forma Carry. The sit back and just advance all your ice is such a boring play style. And like, it does not incentivize you to push the game out. And like NSG wants you to like make risk. Like even in that Reality Plus deck, like we're making plays that are not 0 risk. We're not just sitting back, right? Like that is kind of more on NSG as opposed to like, I'm going to sit back and advance, go, advance. Running R&D now costs you 30 credits. It's like, that's not fun, is it? All right, let's see what is the oldest deck we have that's in Kayambe deck for its own sense. Yeah, kind of. Okay, let's see what the Atea deck that we first did. It was like one of our first decks in the format. First crack at Atea. Casual legal. Don't want to play against, I want to play with. Out there, Red Planet cruising to your heart's content. Okay, so this is the one that we played back in the day. And we were trying Fuji as a retrieval. We had a longevity serum, offered Yagi Uda. I'm not sure why we're playing so many 3-2s. We don't have fast advance, and there are good agendas in faction that you can play. So not sure why we're playing Yagi Uda in this list itself. We do have some pretty reasonable ice. 16 ice is a bit low. We have some good upgrades. We had Vobo, which was nice. Oh, it's because we had Lacosta. Why are we playing 3-2s with Lacosta? Play 3x timely public release. I think we only do that if we're playing Yagi Uda and then we play a fast advance deck. So that would be a rush deck. I want to see if we can take a Atea to like mid-range Glacier deck to play something like Reality Plus back in the day. Yeah, JM, we played way too little Atea on the channel. So I'm going to copy this and we're going to try and build a mid-range Glacier Atea and just, you know, have a good time doing that. So things we're going to do, we're going to cut the Fujis. It's not that it's a bad card, but like I think Send a Message works in just more lists because it's an economy card and we don't really care about the text on it. Off-world Office, we're going to cut the 3 Yagi Udas and then just play, I think Nisei Mark II is probably just fine enough. TBR is a 4-2 and gives value? It's okay. Are you asking as in like, is that the truth or why don't we play it? So Timely Public Release is like a card that you probably not seen in a long time. Oh, it's true. We can. Yeah, we could try it just because no one's played it in a long time. But it allows us to install a card from HQ Archives in any position, which fires Atea. We can do that on the runner's turn. And then if it fires Lacosta, yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. Whatever. It's not Nisei, but it's fine. Okay. What are we missing? Because mind you, we did this when the set just came out, so there's probably a lot of learnings. We're looking at NGO Friends, Rashido's Regulus Spin Doctors. That makes a lot of sense. We can tempo down all of those and it's pretty good. Yagi Uda counters work with Atea, yeah, but not as easily as Timely Public Release. How do you feel about Friend Company and Atea? Feels like I kind of want to push that strat. It's really hard, Dana, because it takes up one of your remote servers, which is what you want to put other stuff in. This deck actually runs 2 Glacier servers usually, and I don't think what it does is that important. The click compression of Atea is like not amazing. Front Company is, it's rough. I don't know. Like for Front Company to be good, we really need to see something that either you care about cards in hand, which we don't. You either need to care inherently about what's it called? Going horizontal heavily. You need to have like a Sundew. It's really, yeah, it's really restricting because it just eats one of your servers and then Atea doesn't do anything. I like Trank over Vovo. Yeah, we played Vovo because we had like, I think Trank is pretty fair, but we can't because we have Lacosta, right? Is there any world where you run Cyber Sand in Atea? It's same issue where it just eats your server and like you can play more straightforward cards that don't give your opponent the capability of not running. Yeah. Front Company Atea needs to have a lot more upgrades. Yeah. I think Front Company is probably better in something that cares about assets, it cares about click compression, and cares about damage. And then you still need to ice up centrals, which is really hard. That's a lot of things all going in the same list. Okay, so we're going to cut a Surveyor because I think Surveyor is just kind of unplayable into Hush. Vampire Nas is pretty good. Tattoo is good. Swordsman, probably not necessary, as much as I think the AI hate has slowed down. We should be playing a Virus or 2. It's just a pretty easy card to install. Maybe 1 is not enough. We're on double Adrian. I think Adrian's so good in the matchup, and we probably should be playing like Mana Garm as well. Like we should be playing maybe just Anoetic. We don't have enough ice though. So a Blade of Anansi, a Teeny. I think I like Vampy more than a Teeny. Tattoo Magnet, Enigma. Okay, what else are we playing? Enigma is probably a bit suspect here too. Dangerous upgrades are not too common in Jinteki and it's expensive to import. So economy is bad. I feel like we probably want to play a Mindscaping. Gives us some value here. Jaguar, we don't care about core damage. We don't care about tags. Like, T-Bear trigger to install 3-2 at the end of the runner's turn, triple advance, Chef's Kiss. Yeah, Eric, we can even do it on top of Lacosta and do a 4-2, which like, that's pretty cool, isn't it? We just don't have enough ice. We have a slots issue. We have to start cutting things. So I think the Vovo is probably the worst card here. Like this is where we play like border controls, right? Drafter, Drafter's good. I do think there's a lot of respect into Atea when they're on low with the Sentry, but maybe if we're on low credits, this will hit. And Drafter's in a really good spot on the meta. Nobody breaks it really well. I like the Drafter, I think. I think border control is also pretty fine. Casual illegal? Oh yeah, standard. Standard illegal? Yeah, why? Oh, yeah, deck size, right. 16 ice seems like maybe a bit too little. We have to still cut cards. I don't think we have enough defensive upgrades though. Seamless seems good. Seamless does seem good. Yeah, maybe we can not play border control. We can go faster and play 2 seamless. Soft econ card and gives us flexibility. Cut a vamp. A vamp is really good if you res it early for 5 credits. It's a bit expensive though. Like this seems more like mid-range rush, but the thing is we need like 2 or 3 more ice here. Biovault is probably too slow and expensive. What is Mindscaping doing? It just gives you a bit of flexibility to go a bit faster. It's not amazing, but it's okay. Yeah, Magic, we're building, I wouldn't say Glacier, I would say like mid-range rush. And maybe 3 Regolith is a bit rich for that. Mindscaping is pretty bad. I don't know, I feel like I play this in every like mid-range Glacier deck. Obviously, it's like, I don't think it's amazing for a slot. Okay, I'll cut it. We definitely need about 17 ice though. Biovault with Lacosta is great. It's okay. Not sure we need that many NGOs. NGO is a lot better with the Taya than it looks in other factions because you install this one clicklessly and install ice. And it actually is like a pretty good econ card because now it becomes 2 clicks and 2 credits for 8, which is a fair bit better than 3 clicks. Singleton copy of Trickle A for when the Lacosta counters build up. We don't have any 3/2s for that to work well with though. Like that only makes sense if you have a 3/2. Otherwise, like you might as well just play seamless. Get a Sisenton in there. I don't want to do that. Because I don't want to. I don't know if it's correct either. We don't have Fujis or any ways to capitalize on it. I ended up running 3x Moonpool and Atea since you can score a 4-2. Yo, Ryan, link for the videos. I've heard there's going to be more coming out. I would do that with a different agenda suite if we're playing like mid or fast range. We're not like fast advancing. But the Moonpool interaction is really good. It's hard with only 9 agendas, I reckon. I don't think we have enough defensive upgrades. I think we do like 2 Adrian, 2 what's it called? You know the one. You know. The one. Sisenton's top 3 Jinteki Ice. Don't make me do this. It's 2 strength. To get through it for 3. Anoetic was the one. It took me a while. 51 cards. Okay, so we do have to cut some stuff. I think we cut a Regolith. I wonder if we're fast enough to cut an NGO. We definitely want a bit more ice. Anoetic with Mind and Garm is kind of sad. It's still good enough. It's still definitely good enough. Phone? Phone is... We don't care about the text on phone. We don't care about the 2 damage. We don't care about the tag. So it's kind of hard. I'd rather play Sisenton in that slot. TOL plus advance. Yeah, but we have to install the thing. Right? Like it's install TOL advance. That's 4 clicks, right? Surveyor's 2 influence. We cut a Surveyor. I'm actually really scared to play Surveyor because of the amount of Hush. Like Surveyor's ass into Hush. Who is Phone? Hey Terrence, I wanted to say how much I'm loving Canadian Nets content. Dave, that's very kind. Glad you're enjoying it. It's they've been turning out okay. You win this round. Don't get hushed. That's a strat. It's definitely a strat. I think the drafter is strange. Like maybe what's Managarm? 3 influence? Or 2? I think it's 3. Yeah, it's 3. Okay. We could play this. I think 15 ice is too little. Replanting though? Okay. That'll solve all our issues. Blade of a Nancy drafter, Enigma Magnet. I think we need another piece of ice here. I'm worried to cut the Hansei. Can we just cut him a virus? And pretend that we have him a virus? Like I won't tell anyone if you don't tell anyone. What's our code gates? Magnet, Enigma, Vampy. Barriers are Tattoo Bola, Ablative. Okay. Sentries, Anansi. I think, what do we want? A code gate, maybe? The Sentry slot seems okay. 2 Hansei suspect? Yeah, but how do you have enough money? Like, maybe this is actually better. I would believe it. I don't know, Mirage Bloom. No, I don't even know what this does. This lets you install cards or something. 2 for 3. You may install a piece of ice protecting another server. Okay, I'm down for this. Let's hope the Lacosta stick. Just 1 more ice. Oh, not being on 3. This is suspect. We locked it in. I don't like playing Hansei. I think you're right. 3 Hanseis is something, but like, Regolith might be too slow. Actually, that's probably fine. I'd rather do that, I think. Anemone? Anemone is not really taxing. We don't have Fuji. The damage actually doesn't matter, and it's pretty expensive. Until it's my Glacier Teo deck. No. Your Glacier Teo deck, we just need one more ice. Maybe a Vampy. Garbo the Regos, yeah, they're too slow. 3 Hansei feel bad in a Maw meta. D, how's it going? I'm hoping we go fast enough. I haven't actually seen Maw hit most tables. Like, it's in hand, and then they discard it. But yeah, it doesn't help. Conundrum. Maybe we do put the Swordsman back in. Are people actually running AIs? No. No, that's actually pretty bad. There's no barrier we care about. +1 Saisentan. Maximum edge. But isn't it cooler when you kill them on your 1 of Saisentan? I think we do double Enigma. We just want something with a face check. Because we're meant to be fast. Oh, the title is obviously inaccurate. Oh, all decks are gone. There are no more Netrunner decks. Second crack at Taya tempo. Alright, let's see how bad this is. MIC, I think MIC might be the same influence as border control. It might be. Brand's always a good feeling a Taya card. I wouldn't mind Brand at all. If far as a Taya, it's pretty good. It's actually probably better than Drafter, so that we have a taxing barrier. I kind of like that. I don't not like that. I don't not like that. I do yes like that. Make more like PC. In Wayland is a bit more forgivable, where the click actually matters with the rest of the suite. So if we don't draw our Lacosta, we're in a really bad spot. Because we have Biobolts. And that's really expensive. Is that Dead by Delia mug? Chris, yes it is. How's it going? Yeah, we're a DBD household. My partner works on DBD. I've played a lot of DBD. My family plays DBD. Ooh, cool. Jackmaid. Hey. How's it going? I built this Saisentan HB and it feels and looks bad. Don't worry, they'll face check into the remote server because we said you should, and then you win. All right, Sable. We have a Nancy. We're gonna mulligan this hand for sure. Bad BC, Super Jack naming it. I don't think we played before. I'm doing good on you. We might have like a long time ago. I'm doing well. I'm doing all right. Thank you. Name I recall from many Christian videos. Yeah. Jackmaid's been playing for a long time. From somewhere in Europe. It's not that much better, is it? Okay, so we're gonna ice up HQ because we're playing against Criminal. We want to get diversioned. Best of luck. Have fun. So we can get the double install here. So we could do Ablative. We could install Lacosta NGO. We probably want to advance the NGO. I think we might just want to wait till next turn. So if that's the case, we don't get a good double install here. I'm not sold on the send of messages. I don't know what other 5-3 you play though. Like maybe bacterial programming is actually good enough to play, unironically. I think it might be. Felix is German. Nice. Blade of Honor Hugh is kind of a rough res anyways. I think we want to get our money up. Nah, this seems fun. That seems fun. Install NGO Lacosta, install a Blade of Advanced NGO. Yeah. That's what we went for. I don't love it. It's not great. Archives is the mark. Turns out we need to roll that dice like 1,000 times. So I think I've done my part. I'll leave the numbers up to whoever wants to crunch those. Nice. We need to ice up everything. It's good run-based pressure. Very, very too good early installs. We cut them a virus, didn't we? This is probably on the cool list. Maybe not. Play 3 Yagis and FA then when they face check the drafter on last click. Yeah, but we just install on top of our Lacosta and do the same thing. Okay, we can Saisentan R&D or we can Saisentan server 1. It's a secret that we got the virus. I don't even know if we did. It's a secret to me as well, unfortunately. So I think we can ice up R&D, win on the face check. Ice up R&D. I think we draw once here. Like we want to do advance install. Well, go drafter go. So no trigger this turn. They're probably not going to face check. They know we have 11 credits, so like Anansi's not great here. R&D is the mark. Nice. We just want to get something small in archives. Did someone come through with the actual number required for statistical significance? Paul suggested it was over 1,000. I was weary of the 50, but wasn't sure about to speak to it. I'm pretty sure that the numbers say, like, as long as you do 5 times as many sides, like, you start to get some information. But the more accurate you want your P number, however it works, is it's a bit higher than that for sure. The salt was bad, but the table rolls weren't terrible. I still wouldn't use it at an event. Yeah, D. You can check it out in the last stream on Thursday, but we basically rolled the Sable Mark die from Worlds last year, and we came up with pretty reasonable numbers while rolling it on table, but then we did a salt roll and came up with really bad numbers that archives is super favored. But that could also be like a surface texture thing and salt, and we also didn't mark the different archive sides, so maybe one side was worse, but the table rolling didn't seem bad. I didn't understand what you meant by salt. Yeah, there's Paul, depending on the level of confidence you want, exactly. It was just like water with little salt in it, so that the die can float. All right. Cool. Can't win. Yep. What did we hit? Hold on. Sure Gamble, Trash to Wheels, Carmen, and a Class Act. Yeah, I feel like that was a fine trade. It's pretty easy to check. The proper test is chi-squared. Yes. I think that's what we came down to, but not knowing what those words meant. Any old DSEC is likely to have a bias unless you want to bring casino dice for tournaments. The mark dice is probably fine. It depends how bad it is, but I think you're right. It's probably okay. All right, well, we don't have a remote server. We don't have a lot of ice. We did get rid of a Carmen. The deck might only be on 1. That's kind of cool. Sneak door is a worry. This is a worry. Draw. Okay. So I think that we would do that next turn. I think here we just do like hedge fund. This is where they really need to send it because we've gone through 10 cards and we haven't done anything. I think actually this is better. I'm just worried that they're gonna, you know, do something with the server. Like we put out all their strong cards. That's 6 for them to trash though, as much as they do get more money off the bankroll. HQ mark is what they want here. They have to respect maybe another Silenton. That's what I did where the actual ratios Andre ran. It's pretty close to expected ratios for the number of rolls, yeah. This experiment is exactly the kind of truly dedicated content I came to Metropole Grid for. I was just like editing and someone rolled that die and it's like, wait, is this really cursed? And it took me like 10 minutes. You can do power estimates based on the level you expect, okay. Archives run, it's better than clicking for credit. We really need to get a piece of ice here. Imagine scoring out a 4-2 on the table. How good would that have been? Let's draw for a piece of ice. Yay. Oh, that's bad. This is really bad. 16 ice. This feels bad. So we obviously want to advance this once. If they trash this for 6, I think we're okay with it. So we advance this, we can pop off. We could Hansei for Hansei, that's pretty bad. Gotta keep drawing, I think so. It could have been better. I can imagine a world where it was better. So either we advance this for 2 credits or we crack this immediately to play the hedge fund. Or we Hansei the Hansei, which is like, that's fine too. This is bad. Stop drawing /J. We just needed 1 piece of ice there to like actually get value from this because I think Jack needs to trash this. Actually running again is better than clicking for credits. Classic economy here. I saw all my gens by turn 2 in a game. I only had 6. The Asmari lifestyle. They're just letting us get away with this Biovault. Oh, thanks. Now the problem is if we draw once, we might be able to do double install with this. I'm going to draw for an ice. That's messed up. I still think we do it. I still think we just commit to the bit. Now we're having full faith that this is going to draw a piece of ice. Our faith has been rewarded. I guess. Jaina hates you? No, we got it. We figured it out. Archives is the mark. Ass. Don't have a Carmen. Might not have a Carmen. Maybe looking for an Amakua. Does anyone remember if we cut them a virus or not? I think we did. But we score an off-world here. Hermes gets a bounce. Okay, we have to do this. Shuffle back those. Has more money than we think. We did? Damn it. It is an Amakua, okay. It's not good. A lot of agendas in hand, and if Jack runs HQ here, we're in a really bad spot. Really, really bad spot. We're just gonna get ripped apart by Hermes because we're not proactive enough. I think we just do score this out and get an HQ bounce. No, then we lose the game. It's really hard not to lose the game here. We just didn't not do anything fast enough. If we res the ablative, he has to crack the bankroll. That's the only good spot here. It also lets us res this, so now we can actually safely score out the... We have to res the bio vault and score out the off-world office. Okay, this seems wild. I think we're going to do this because it costs us the game. And now Jack can't run this, and we can score this out and the minimal damage to hand. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Come on, get lucky, Rashida. Nice. Nice, nice. And now we don't have to discard either. Oh, we do, actually. I wonder if we should score to any other agenda. Raising a blade with no trigger. I know, but it was totally correct. I think the hedge funds... No, we have to res an Anansi. So it's probably the bio vault, right? Yeah, I think it's a bio vault. Okay. All right. He knows there's something in HQ, so he probably has to send it back. Turtle's so cool. One of the few sets I'm missing in paper. Yeah, this is one of the most common criminal cards. You don't see that much of it, actually. It's slowing down because Anansis are... Sorry, Maviruses are pretty common. I don't think we mind this flip. If the mark was on HQ, this would be a bit better. This is not bad, but like I think I would be more scared of the accesses here. Okay, well that was worse. That was worse. All right. Just do that, I guess. Archives of the mark. Good. Just get your Amakua. Remember buying proxies for mild side, going back to Red Sand specifically. I have turtles. Yeah. There's luckily also really good alt arts. The keys are alt art you can buy online of Amakua is the best Amakua. I think people just stopped making Amakua alt arts. Mobby, what is the card you mentioned? I'm not sure. Okay, so now we have to get this rezzed. Just having a virus in archives gives us so much more breathing room. I wonder if Jack is going to threaten this. If we res this, we go down to 0 credits. That's obviously pretty bad. Oh, Mavirus. Yes. The Karma hit's probably going to carry this game kind of hard. Yeah, well, we can lose Amakua pretty easily until we ice up archives. We'll have to purge. I don't think we have that much stuff at low strength, but there's a chance. The fact that we have 2 sentries on centrals. Yeah. But yeah, hitting what might be the only one of... Maybe there's a Katurga. We've seen some influence already. We've seen 4? 5? So maybe. But yeah, hitting a Cartman's pretty good. It's just like, how do you deal with this hand? Like, this is not a good hand to deal with. Anansi's good into inside job, that's for sure. They get through this Anansi, but we just have to res this Anansi. Like, we're on 0 credits. That's the reality of the matter. But they have to dump most of their leech, and then it's res. So at least if they score out, they don't get a bounce. Cool. But yeah, now we don't have any proactive plays. This feels really, really bad. We just flooded up so we weren't able to build a remote server. That's okay. We don't want that. Hermes, no trigger. This immediately feels so much worse than Reality Plus. Resing to save value for Hermes. Yeah, we 100% res that there. We'd probably click for 3 credits unless we draw like we cut the regoliths, right? So like we'd click for 3 credits. We have no play. We've gone through 2 NGOs. Nice. They don't have a real incentive to trash this. They'll probably wait for Miss Bones. But yeah, here we can do click for 3. We can ice up archives. I don't think they can really afford to run HQ well. We lose to legwork. I think we just click for 3. We can't res the magnet on archives. I'm not sure if they'll respect it. So we'll have 1 turn ready. And then once we get the magnet resed, we can purge. And then they really have to like do something. As much as we're going to sit here and lose really, really slowly. Limit to remote servers, Andre, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, okay. This is why we have to ice up everything. That was an archives mark too. That's a really good mark that turn. There you go. We've lost everything. We have no board state. We have nothing. But Jackmaid's economy is also going to get stopped real soon. Again, it's 4 to run HQ. It's not that bad. Paladin, interesting. That's influence. I never feel good like playing the companions. That's 3 influence. I just like, its criminal economy is like so messed up. And, like you need something that's not run based. And like that's apparently the option. Anansi archives is pretty good. Just like can't res anytime soon. We have to purge next turn. I feel so bad playing the companions over like, I don't know, having something in faction. This card is really good, but then you only play 1 of it. So then it becomes like really high variance because this is the sort of card that you need to find in the first 5-6 turns or it's not amazing. It's a credit a turn though. It's like, it is Rizeki. You can't be too upset about it. We're not going to fire ability for like the next 3 or 4 turns. So I would say this is bad. Did we flood? It turns out we did flood, but like Jack didn't check the servers for a while. The in-faction crim cards are always banned. Yeah, but they're banned because of anarchs. They're not banned because of criminals. Right? Like pad tap is a problem in Hoshiko. That's good. As much as they don't have a Carmen. Like everything is banned because of, you know, value-based mid-range stuff. It's not like I don't know if it's healthy to have what's it called? Crowdfunding. Never want to make a fuss about how I should be working, but John is sending me clips from the Charles Barkley Apocalyptic Basketball JRPG, so I think I'm off the hook. This is a cheap axis. We're definitely going to purge this turn. So the Chesva is going to be like pretty minimal value as much as it was like technically neutral this turn. It did spend a click. Actually with Paladin, it made money. That's not bad. So here we could decide clicking to 3. Seamless. Don't worry, we have seamless. I think we're just going to purge here. They're going to force this res, but now what do they do? What is this heart button? There's this heart button on like the YouTube chat and it's popping off, but it's popping off like, I'm not sure why. Cyber Dwarf card, when is she? What does that mean, Phil? And this is where like if we had a Cyber Sand, it's like you top deck it here, it's really hard to make value from it. If we top deck, what's it called? Front Company, it's really hard to get value off the board state. People love the channel simple. Thank you. Oh, it's winning. That's really good. That's a good way for them to get value while not doing anything. So here they can always like use the Chesva just to, technically they can't use the Chesva because you can't boost Amakua, but if they have any other breaker, it's more that they're going to install something with Paladin Puemo. But like twinning is how we lose. This is really nice to have like a way again. I think twinning's so good right now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Our window. And can we concede? Like this is going to be painful. Chat, do I have permission to concede? This is going to be a 50-minute game. And we can't build a remote server without having the ability to ice it. Heart means love. Thank you. Because like we can't build a remote server, otherwise they bounce off it with Amakua. Yeah, this is a 15-minute game loss. Like this is totally unfunctional. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 economy cards out. 2 are defensive upgrades. Yeah, we're totally cooked. And like, look at their board state. Look at how much value they're getting per turn and how much value we're getting per turn. Yeah. 2-2 tie. I would call it 2-2 tie. That's pretty good. You mind if I throw in the towel? I got nothing here. Yeah. That's really bad. Hey, GG. It's just gonna be a really slow loss for both players because they can't make a lot of runs consistently, and we're gonna just die to the thanks to the game to the twinning. No. Oh, I was early game. 100%. Yeah, real bad. Early game, we drew 5, I think. We drew 4 or 5 agendas. Yeah, conceding gets us some more fun quicker for sure. I see spin can do good things. Yeah, we have those. Not on. I need more than that. Thanks for the game, eh? You got Maiden, you got Jack. Hey, cheers. Oh, they're typing. Hold on 1 second. If you don't call the start a flood, I don't know what flood is. Yeah, I forgot. I thought they were asking like right now. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm playing at COS. We're still looking for a standard player. Hey, cheers. Yeah, it's super stoked. Like, there's a lot of fun folks from Europe that I haven't had the pleasure to meet yet because, you know, all the worlds I've been to have been on this side of the ocean. So really stoked to see like, you know, majority European players. Cause just too many North America. We'll try it again. We had a bad start. Actually looking for standard player. Yeah. You in? I'm playing Eternal. We have Chenchling in startup. Chenchling, mind you, was on the team that won last year. Unless you're asking, it's weird to miss a standard player. Yeah, maybe. But so far it's Chenchling and I, and we're looking for a standard player. If you're in, actually, we'll definitely take you. I'm on commentary on Sunday. Oh, cool. Wait, you mean on Friday or on Sunday? Because COS is Friday, right? You can maybe have stabilized if you got Anansi Archives and the money to res it before he rips one from R&D. Yeah, if we put the Anansi Archives and click for credits, we'd stabilize. The fact that we put down a magnet and then hard cast the shibboleth, like that was the bad state, because then we're down 3 credits. But you're right. If we just like held on one more turn and got the Anansi Archives, maybe we'll be okay there. Because then we have sentries on all 3 servers. But because we messed that up and put down the magnet, we're in a really bad spot. Would love to jump in though. All right, cheers. Chenchling is pretty good as I understand it. Yeah, I've heard good stuff. I was meant to be on Chenchling and Encoder's team. I don't know who the 3rd player was last year, but I responded a bit too late. I got on a team with the casters though, and I don't regret it. But they ended up winning the event. I don't think they had intentions to win the event going into it. Thanks, you too. Where did I send my CV? You can just message me on Discord. Okay, against Hosh, send a message as a brick in this hand. I think we have way too few ice. And I think you want more ice, like kind of like an Ag Infusion, because Atea actually gets good value of having an ice in every hand. Yo, Jack, good game. Did you have another Carmen? This hand's bad. This hand's not better. What's with this deck? Okay, cool. Yeah, we need to get an Anansi on Archives. I think that was the only thing. As soon as we spent I don't like it. Like, oh, there was Veil. That makes a lot of sense. I should remember that. Yeah, it's COS. You're totally right, Ba. This stinks. This hand stinks so bad. The best thing we can do is like hope there's Sisen's non-respect there, or they steal this in a message. We probably should have let R&D open, considering we know the density here, and we should have got this rezzed. Yeah, we're good. If we don't res this, they don't think there's any more in HQ. Be cool, 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 be cool. Oh, Longevity Stream is a bad card. I don't think this should be in the deck. I think it's just a bad card. I don't think it does anything. We had a good stream today, huh? That Reality Plus deck. Wow, that was really cool. Wow, Reality Plus, that was a cool one. That's only like half the points in the top 9 cards. 8 cards. 8 cards. Cool. And then we can use this board state to have aggressive opening. How do we not res there? We couldn't afford it. It was 7. We're on 6. Oh, Cleaver's in time. Don't worry. Cleaver's in time. Holding 2 barriers. This is so aggressively bad. This is really bad. And like, I want to Hansei this ice, but like, it's really good with Tasubola. And by really good, I mean like, it's okay. Wait, we have Spin Doctor in the deck, right? Right? We must. I thought this would load faster. Yeah, okay, we do. You thought I put a bladed there? I don't love putting a bladed early. We did it. We reached turn 2. Oh man. Okay, Gatchbon going off. Second cleaver. So we might see the twinning this soon. We also understand Chesva. I like Chesva. That's a pretty good card. If you want to get good value runs. I think this card is kind of sick. I strongly disagree about Longevity Serum. It's a great agenda that gives some protection from sabotage, gets more economy cards to loot R&D. I don't think it does enough. Almost all the 4-2s do something better. This is clearly the worst of all the 3-2 agendas across all the factions. There's a reason you don't see this in many lists, Eugene. Obviously it does something, but what it does here, like, what are we going to do? Get this NGO front, fix our hand by emptying our hand? Yeah. I remember the first version of your Tea deck was unstoppable. Was it a Vovo? It was Vovo, but we're like... Yeah, the Jiteki 3-2s are so bad, which is wild because Jiteki actually has like fast advance options. This is turn 3. And we're already like at the point that our remote server is garbage. I would say garbage. Maybe we do need just like, not that we can fire, what's it called from this hand? Void. Okay. Maybe there's some respect here. Maybe there's some respect. How do you play this hand? Ablative gets us nothing. Skill issue. Anything could be a Nazi, I know, but I think they just send it into a Nazi. Holy shit. And it's not like we can even install these on the table because if they run them, we lose. This is a play that gets to the end of the game at some point. What is it to break an Anansi? 8? They couldn't even break an Anansi, so it was just to get this out of hand. Luminal S tier headline A above the law B plus B minus longevity C minus. I think okay, it's over. It's good. It's over. I think it's better than that. I think above the law is better than that. You have no ice. I love how it says that. GG. Yeah. I have 4 more points in hand. There's a chance we shouldn't have iced Archives so we could get the Vampire Nasa to fire. I think we're still in a really bad spot. But at least that's over fast. This deck is ass. This is really damn bad. But like, how do you beat this? Obviously not a lot of credits. Like, this is why having a null, like, I feel like there's so many decks right now that are going out of their way to, like, you know, get good breakers down really quickly. And like, these breakers are going to have some issues eventually. Like, Anansi is a problem. And like, the economy's not that strong. Like, we're anti-rushed out. But I don't know. This is why I play the Reality Plus deck, because it does beat it. Yeah, the draws are really bad. I don't think we can say anything too consistently. We've been drawing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We drew 11 points in the top 15 cards. We're expecting to draw 4.5. Oh, sick. Tracks. Buzzsaw Chesa doesn't deal with Vampy that well. Yeah, I know, but it's only a matter of time before they get... I don't know if they're on Takobi as well, because this is a lot of influence. But yeah. Eventually they get through this for like... I think 4 credits, maybe? So runner 1 by scoring agendas? Does it actually say that? Thanks for the game. But thanks for the game. Anyways, that's bad. Let's do another one. At least that was fast. How do you beat Anarchs who find the breakers on turn 3? Well, like with 4 credits, they don't really have an economy. So that's where you have like punitive potentially, not that that's a real thing into Anarchs because of Steel Skin. You have Reality Plus stuff. You have ice that has text on it, not just subroutines. Like there's a lot of things that you can do. I do think our deck just doesn't have enough money and doesn't have... Has TPR done anything useful? No. We've scored on 1 agenda, so no agenda has done anything for us. I think we need like more cheap upgrades that we can do really quickly. Like a Blade as a 2 of might be too much because we're drawing it early and it's ass. I'm running Nisei Mark II and scoring 1 gives me so much more safety. Joe, I agree. I wanted to play a Nisei Mark II and we cut them for a TPR to see anything. And I don't think we've had any games so far that like prove anything though. Spam assets? We can only have 2 servers. Can't really spam assets. Scythar. Ken. All right. Cool. Hey. Thanks, you too. This hand has no economy, but it has 2 ice, and we're against Ken. I'm gonna keep that. I think you should cut the ice. I think that's what Jaina's telling you. I think we should cut the agendas. Oh, hey, Spin Doctor's here. All right, so we just don't want to be diversioned. We don't want to let Ken get free jailbreaks or whatever, so we're gonna go ahead and ice up both things. Early Drafter is not good. Ablative on HQ is not amazing either. So I think we'll do a Magnet on HQ. We're not expecting this to get more value, and this on R&D. Actually, I think Drafter on R&D is a bit better. We click for credit. Because at minimum, we can install like a Spin Doctor we wanted to, I guess. But we'll see. You want to ice up everything because Ken, you know, gets value from running stuff, but if you can't make good runs, you just don't get value. Nice. This makes sense. I think we can let this go through. I don't want to go down to little credits. On 5 credits, if you trash something, you're in a bad spot economically. So they know where we're drawing. That's totally fine. I'm out of tea. So let's see what they do here. They know we can't res, but they see the top card, so run events are not amazing. I think we will unfortunately res the Magnet here. That like totally guts our economy. But it's a 50-50 on being a good hit. So now they understand what they need to get in here. The answer is just Boomerang always. Maybe you're playing around at Nancy, but on 5 credits or 6 credits, you're not really. Saisentan also, mind you, could have been absolute game ruining because they're holding probably a lot of events. But Saisentan we don't have. We have 2, I think. Yeah, people are not respecting Saisentan. I'm surprised, but I don't think it's that popular. Okay, they know we have an Enigma. We do not have the economy to do the off-world office play. We can do this because it gives us the ability to draw bad agendas that we have no economy to score out. We just don't have enough on-tempo economy. Like Regolith probably is correct because it's a nice way to get money on the table. That's a lot of money that forces interaction, draws attention, and gives us clickless installs. Is the ice? No, we have upgrades. We have defensive upgrades. We have a bunch of stuff. Just so we don't get doofed because that will cost us the game. We drew Lacostas and Biovaults in our first game. Biobands, we're totally fine with them trashing this. This is not... It's a fair bit better than Ken, obviously. But if they trash this, we have now drafter value. Leech coming down. Nice. But, like, this is Kenconomy, right? Which is click for credits now. Dirty Laundry. This is really risky too. Maybe we didn't res before, but this drafter lets us like do what? We only have 1 click. You kind of want to spread out your like run events, but maybe you have too many. It's not that bad. Do we res the drafter here? I think we do, but then like what economy card is playable? Done. We could do an install. It's for free. Our economy's totally gutted. It's really, really quite bad. They can't trash. They can steal. Nothing. At least we got our ability to fire twice. That's more than most games so far. Daily cast. Okay, that's good. Wow. Just ice and no money. Okay, we have to make changes to the deck. It is drawing so terribly that we can't do anything on tempo. Like clicking for 3 here is awful. Do we have to click for 3? Yeah, we do to threaten the Enigma, I guess. But I don't want to discard a card. I think we'll put Vampire Anasa on Archives. So there's no easy server to run. You can't really play a run event on Spin Doctor. Well, you can. You'll get your Ken money, but you won't get much more. I wonder how soon before Debbie comes down. Because Debbie's pretty good in Ken. But if we ice up everything, Ken, like, again, fails to be a relevant ability when, like, there's no board state that you can get a good event off of. And really, you could maybe send it through the drafter on 2 credits, maybe. What's the most taxing ice? Yeah, Nazi. Maybe Vampire Nasa. Depends your list. Ugly. So ugly. Click for 3. Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. We're assuming the deck has 2 inside jobs, so like we need 10 credits to be able to like feel safe about the remote server. So like I think we're totally fine doing this as bad as that is. Maybe you should have a proven list first and see how it does. I don't think I've seen any mid-range list. For what it's worth, the first version of this deck that we played on day 1 of the stream actually did do okay. So I think after this, we'll do one more game and we'll try that list to see if like just playing the older version seems better. Because that list actually seemed okay, as much as the meta wasn't like particularly solved on the runner side. As much as like I don't think Ken is exactly gonna. Okay, interesting. Again, die to Saisantan potentially. So we res the Tattoo Bola. We have a res Tattoo Bola. It denies a credit. Yo, Russell, what is the decks you leverage the second remote? It seems like a weakness in the build. In theory, we have like NGO front. We used to have Regolith. We've cut that, which is pretty bad. We have, what's his name? Adrian. But I feel like the other version had more ways because we actually built 2 remote servers. Yeah, Vova was really good. Yeah, Vova and Regolith we cut, and I think I'm regretting that heavily. Running the Spin Doctor, we do not care. You can trash that if you want. 16 credits. We made fun of their economy. Yeah, Rego we cut. We shouldn't have cut Rego. Carmen, nice. Like, I want to concede this game already. If you install an Agenda NGO, what do you advance? The NGO. Because we have Seamless. I guess you haven't drawn those cards? No, but we cut too many of them. I do think we made the deck worse. This was pretty interesting to play against. Here so far, we've not produced any problems that their opponent doesn't solve by just having breakers and some money. Because inherently everything we're doing is just ice and having not enough money. Leech is really good. It makes this 2 credits instead of 4. That Leech is worth 2 credits. I think you lose the Leech counter here. Oh, you linked something? Yeah, it got filtered out for sure. If you're doing tempo, wouldn't Nico and Maryland be better? Maybe. Maybe Maryland would be okay. They trashed Rashida, so it's back. Again, this Leech counter is worth, there you go. It's worth 2 credits. You definitely want to use it here. Considering there's no other way on the table you make value off of it. Going for singles though, like I was surprised we didn't see like a Maker's Eye or something. La Costa stays. We could have scored out an off-world. Okay. So Anansi into Tattoo. Don't know if they know what this is. I think we'd have to make a play here, but unfortunately they can like very obviously like call it. Oh, it's the Belgian Nationals ones. I did look at that one. So they break this for up to 3 credits. This is a credit. They don't have an answer for that. Okay. We should have drawn first. I'm going to pretend that's not the case. I think jamming the off-world could have been legit. Yeah, I think so. I think we have to make plays because otherwise we're going to lose slowly. You're totally right. It's just this deck has 3 inside jobs, so we can't push until we have the money to res the Anansi. The 3 net damage on it might be relevant, but probably won't be. But like Ken's running 3 inside job. You definitely have to. We also haven't seen a console yet, so like not that Hermes is too bad on the sports state. Yeah, IG threat is super significant in Ken. I don't think we want to push just behind a Tattoo. It's nice though the Tattoo eventually will be double. All right, just buy a bands. You do get some better value here off the singles. I think they're realizing the Leech interaction. Draw 2, install a card, I reckon. Nice, Kurapira. They might charge a remote server here, actually. It would be pretty bad. They trashed an Adrian, though. With 6 credits, it's a bit... Oh, sure, gamble. Nice. We get away with this. But yeah, now we're just letting them set up, and they're playing like Honest Netrunner, and we're going to lose to Honest Netrunner. If we Seamless, we can jam. I think we have good reasons to do that. Our ability hasn't been relevant. Whoops. R&D has held up, though. They've been seeing just about everything we draw. They should know that's Rashida, right? Oh, no, because they trashed an Adrian. They didn't go back. They don't know that's Rashida. Maybe pushing the TPR there is more correct. No one not seeing this. There is one on the outermost. We just didn't have time to ice this up. I don't care. The single is like, it is whatever. Like, they're not going to win on singles unless they get lucky, and like, we have to take some risks. Trashing an NGO friend, right? Like, that's fine. Mutual. It seems like they're respecting getting all their breakers down. They're maybe a bit cautious on the running. Maybe there's some respect for Vampy or like a Teeny, but it's not that bad. Shibboleth. Cool. Run HQ here is good. Like legwork is good. Okay, Anansi. They can break this. It's going to be pretty expensive. I'm going to tell you to create another remote with the only ice. I think we need this in hand so that the tattoo does something. Otherwise, we lose 4 credits. I don't want to put that out and have only 1 card in hand. The leech counter here actually doesn't do anything because the breakpoints are either 5. Yeah, they can take the leech if they want. Yeah, oh, Tarp Shack, how's it going? Just joining. Cool. They do get through. They actually can't trash the Rashida though, which is pretty wild. Funny enough, we had the seamless in hand. And they had 1 click left. We could like swap the Nazi in and get the timely public release on another remote server. That's pretty fun. So we actually have a good server here. I want to keep this in hand, I think. But yeah, we could put this on the table. It's just we can't score it out. But yeah, they actually can't trash either of these. So glad we didn't push the remote. Cool. Gain 3, draw 3. Okay. I have to advance something. Yikes. Okay. Atay and Ken, these are 2 IDs I've been trying as my entrance standard. Oh, how's it been so far? I think we're going to go for the TPR because it does allow us to do cool stuff with La Costa. This is kind of expensive. They've bottomed out on economy. So I think we can put this on R&D. Mind you, they can send it through this, but they shouldn't. We'll put this in server 2, and I think we could consider putting the Bio Vault on top of it. I don't think it does anything here. I think taking a credit is fine. We're expecting to spend 8 for it. This deck is so fair. D, tell me about it. We've not used our ability. We're just literally playing blank ID Glacier. But that's because I think our deck construction is like pretty flawed. It's very informative to hear the thought process behind the choices. Of course, ask questions if there's anything that's unclear. Atea seems fair, cannot pilot initially at all, but it's fun. There's a lot of different Ateas. Like Fast Advance Atea is like a legitimate thing. Rush Atea is fine. I think the mid-range Glacier Atea, this deck is not doing a good job of showing it off. We haven't made our ability relevant because none of these cards are worth putting in another server. And we don't have the money to spread ourselves out between 2. It's a Vampy. Thinking. So the Vampy only costs us 5 credits because if they want to break it, it's 2, 3 for 5. They could boost and break one of the subroutines. I haven't played either of Sokka's version, and I'm surprised that the Fast Advance version is not seeing any play because I don't think Sokka's version was like, there's meaner versions of it. Because it was early in the meta. I've seen meaner versions. I'm making fun with Prana Atea. So if we res this, we go down to maybe 5, maybe even worse than 5. Ideally, we go down to 7. I'm gonna do it. This is not a good buy bands either, but we just made it a fair bit worse. I think Sokka's versions got harder to play with as much Arasana as we've seen. As much as the deck does run on Temple of Virus pretty well. Fire Alt, nice. How many cards do we? So we hit a networking and a wake. That's fine. Well, I think we can draw 2. We're going to score out and discard a couple. We might as well. I made a huge mistake. They didn't have money to lose, though. And we can't actually res the Anansi. We probably didn't want to draw 2, let's be honest. If we drew as seamless, we'd be okay here. Will said the massive Hermes made his Atea difficult to play. Yeah, that's true as well. So you went to like less agendas. Okay, what's the text on TPR? It seems pretty safe in the remote server, so I don't think we have to do anything with it. All the draws, don't mention it. I think here we do Rashida in their mode server just to keep Zythar busy. We put the Biovault in the remote. If we score this out, it's ice or archives, but it's a piece of agenda. Sorry, it's a piece of ice. In theory, this also puts us, like, if we don't score out, send a message, we have to score out a bunch of agendas. But like we can chain the two TPRs. I don't think we have the money to do that though, so I think we're going to worry about money. I missed. That could happen to anyone. New remote server. I think we just do credit. Lose the legwork or whatever. Yeah, our draws have been bad. If we had a hedge fund there, we'd be in a pretty okay spot. But now we have reasonable ice on every server, as much as Shibboleth is free on HQ. But the outermost is an Enigma, which is next to free. In any position. What, Atea? Yeah, so we can advance the Biovault next turn. Diversion. With 2 credits, this is kind of like risky. If we res the Enigma, they lose a click and then they get through Enigma. They actually have like just enough credits for this. This is pretty wild because if this is anything bigger than this. Ice from TPR? Yeah, so you install it here and then you get something in server 2. But I thought we could like throw out an agenda and recover it. It's not what it does. I think here we just take the diversion to go down to 4. If we score the TPR, this doesn't land. Yeah, it does. How does it not land? Because we can get the ice on HQ? I don't think that's how we want to use TPR, though. Oh, Shib gets smaller? That's true. Yeah, Shib does get smaller, thinking. So again, if we res this, we go down to 6, then we go down to 1. We have a Rashida on the table. We can read the TPR or the Biovault. I think making them spend money, this is probably fine. I was just typing about how when I drove over the drop-off of the RT packs, you asked me for feedback on an Antea deck I've been playing built by a certain player, which is a vote of confidence I'll take, but I know he deserved. So here they have to decide. They have to lose a click here. Wait, they had no clicks left? We res an Enigma with no clicks left? I'm a clown. Absolute clown. It's okay, we have Rashida. Yeah, that was clown stuff. I didn't realize there's no clicks left. That was not a good res. That's pretty bad res, in fact. Cool. We'd be more scared about the access. Mandatory. We'll do Rashida first in theory. We should have clicked it so we get information on what her hand is. This is bad. We'll do the agenda we can score out, so we should. Because it messes up with this. Okay. Do we seamless this? I think we do. I think we seamless this. Then we install Adrian. Yeah, this is a hand. We can play this. I ended up putting a Trankard instead of the Nico, and I like it better. Nice. Yeah, a Trankard is really good in this list. We're on the coast, unfortunately. Okay, I think we do. Let's try this. It's hard to tell which one's advanced. We'll score this out. So now we have this ability. So it's important to keep a 4-2 in hand, especially an economic one. Don't need to seamless though. I think I want to because I want to advance. Oh, we'd have to Biovault twice. I think it's fine to seamless. I think you're right that we don't have to. And for what it's worth, I think the Shibboleth play doesn't matter when they have Leech on 3 last turn. What's this deck, Sean? We're trying to do like a mid-range tempo Atea. It's not been doing well. Is there an economy play we get off of this? Sort of, yeah. If we had the seamless in hand, we actually can like fast advance to send a message. Because we install it clicklessly on top of this, it gets an advancement, and we do advance, seamless. So that was probably pretty bad. Sice and new server, yeah, we'll res it and move it. And we'll put it on. Okay, we're going to keep the timely in hand so we can score it out. It'll be 3 credits, and that means we can score at this. So here, I think we just do credit. And then next turn. Yeah, we did not do a good job there. No, bad job, yes. So get rid of Sam. We'll get rid of one of the agendas. We'll get rid of the La Costa. It's pretty important, though. So the question is where we put this. I'm not worried about server 2, so I'm going to put it on HQ. Yeah. You don't need them run for TPR. Yeah, no, I know. So if they don't run, like, I think we just cycle TPRs for 3 credits, and then we try and win next turn off world. Yeah, the only thing is that it challenges our spin doctor. Liberated? Yeah. Do we want to save the seamless for the public release so we can fast advance out on agenda that they run last click? Even if they don't run last click, we can do it, but we can still do it with La Costa. We don't need the seamless. The thing is, like, it matters because we could have won this turn with the send a message. But we don't need the seamless if we have La Costa. Because we do it on their turn, right? HQ run. Adrian Slice is pretty fun. It's a spicy game here. So we're going to use this to get an agenda out of hand. So we need to have a piece of ice in archives. Not a problem. I'm going to sneeze real bad. Yo, Garrett, left a fragment of the last episode with the dice stats. Yo, glad you liked it. A bit of feverish salt play. Genuinely impressed that we made it all the way to server 5. Oh, in the new remote server? So this is going to eat up some leeches. Nice. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to use timely public release. So we're going to install a piece of ice from the bin. Ideally, something we can res. I'll just do this. So we'll put this in an... Oh, hold on. We have to crack this first. We'll put together... I think we have to put the agendas in. I'd love to get the seamlesses out, but I don't want to lose. So then we'll put timely public release to put this in a new remote server. And then... Weird. Choose a card to install another server. We'll do the timely public release. Nice. Dedication ceremony. You need to install the other remote will be server 6. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So here, still haven't learned the text on Adrian. Should do that before Worlds. If the bids differ, the runner cannot access cards other than the upgrade. I'm just going to pay 0. They paid 0. Adrian lives. So now we can do advance. Damn it. Now we don't have enough money. Move Adrian? Nah, he's cool. In theory, we need 3 credits to win. They don't know what the buy vault is. We can't res Managarm or Anoetic. So we might lose on 6 points, let's be honest. They have 16 credits, all their breakers. Has Atea been competitive? Yeah, different versions. Pinhole, that's fine. We threw out a La Costa knowing that this was an issue that we're going to run into. So this is where like the 3-2 wins us the game. If we find a 3-2 at some point. We also can put the ice in front of them with 1 credit. No, it's fine. Pinhole threading. La Costa goes down. I don't think we've seen mid-range Glacier Atea, but like Jinteki Glacier has largely been... There's no reason to do this. We've seen more fast advance versions and like tempo rush decks. Tattoo Bolo would actually be really good. Break this for 2 credits. Access. Okay. All right. Okay. How do we win? How do we win? On 1 credit's also ugly because we can't do NGO that well. They have 10 credits though. I think we're pretty okay trading an off-world office here. Like we need to find our I think we're okay trading this. The thing is we can't score it out. Like, because we threw out a La Costa from hand, which is probably incorrect, let's be honest. So we can put this in server 2 and then just double credit advance. We can use our ability, but our ability doesn't really help us. NGO server 6 to put Tattoo Bola in server 2. I don't think, like, it's something. Yeah, okay. We'll just do advance credit, right? Like this is cursed. Move Adrian now. You good? He's good. He's busy. Yeah, now they have to be a bit scared to face check if they respect the NGO front. Not that they don't. Like the worst case is a Vamp or an Asa here or an Atini because Shibboleth does not do too well into the mid game. I think Ken has been firing consistently enough. We can check the log how much money Ken has got. And mind you, we haven't seen the impact. Ah, it's a Katurga. Cool. If we res the Tattoo Bola, I think we should. I think we have a huge incentive to do that. I wonder if they're going to get back with this. Like, we haven't seen multi-axis. right? Like the version, I guess. Kurapira. Swap tattoo. I think the tattoo swap is fine. Again, 2 credits, not bad. This card's pretty good. People are in Carmen. Leech helps. Big screen shake. Double advancing the Biovault's also pretty fair. As expensive as that is, we could maybe double advance a Biovault off-world office. That's hard. Let's see what they get back with the Katurka. This doesn't replace the accents. You've been Wolf 2'd? I don't think so, because we haven't seen like a Makers yet. As soon as we see a Makers, we've been Wolf 2'd. Wake Implant. That's hard to get value from. Now with 2 Seamless in the bin, like it's hard for us to like get the timely public release to do anything really good. Also with TPR, there's a good incentive to play border control. As expensive as that is. This is a good run. I think we push out next turn. We double advance the Biovault and then go from there. Just draw Seamless Launch and you win. We have 2 in archives. It's impossible. We just can't do it. Now we can get the off-world office out of our hand into server 2. And then we can do double advance, single advance. And then hopefully they steal, send a message. I think that's our line. This actually does cost them 3 credits though. And they still have to play Adrian. Okay, so here we're going to use this, I think, to install a piece of ice. I think we're going to trash the Enigma. Server 6. Oh, it ignores all costs. Okay. Get a free res? Yeah, I know. Ideally, we get free res and Anansi. The thing is, like, this math matters. I don't want to spend any money. I want them to spend money. Maybe that's wrong. They hit to send a message. Perfect. Okay. So if that was a 3-2, we could win. So we could do advance, advance, advance. Okay. We just have to end our turn. Move Adrian. Oh, I forgot about Adrian. Oh, I forgot about Adrian. Adrian's so good here. We need to have at least... And tattoo is set up. So we need to have at least 3 cards. If they bounce off the tattoo, we're still fine. I think we put this on R&D. No, we put it on server 2. This doesn't stop diversion. That's the only like thing that really blows us out. We can always Biovault to diversion though. So where do we want to put it? I think we put it on server 2. Okay, so we need to have at least 3 credits and we have a Biovault. You can always send it through double Anansi. We've used our like unfair trigger here. So they have 3 clicks to figure out how to get through this. It has a Biovault and an Adrian. Not that you can fire the Biovault after the Adrian fired. Oh, I just pulled at my pants and I think I heard the hem go. That's probably a fine sound. Let's not worry about that. R&D? I don't mind so much in R&D. Because it's only a single axis, right? We know where 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points are. And like, we're not really willing to pay for it. So we'll res the tattoo here. They need to go through it. If they bounce off of it, we still have enough to score out. Nice. This turns off our ability. That's fine. Yeah, we have to get a bit of luck here. If they dropped a Hermes, we'd be in a bad spot. It's okay, no one can see the lower half anyways. I know, but I have to own these pants. Okay, if we Biovault here, we stop the access. They can't afford to... They could afford to go back. They have to, like, bypass the Kurapira. I'm going to do that because, like, we still have Adrian on their remote server between double and Nancy. Like, we're probably... that's, you know, a bit conservative. Because they have to hit 2 singles off of R&D in a row. So now they have to run, and that's the only way they win. Convince streamers are Muppets and have no lower half. Don't threaten me to stand up. A diversion here is actually really good. A diversion here is a problem. We've given away that with our Biovault, but they played a single diversion. No diversion. Credit. Let's see a Maker's Eye. We lose to a Maker's Eye. Would be surprised if streamers bothered to wear pants. Pants are not bad. Draw. Okay, that's game. Ah, off the top. They would have stolen one there. Good game. Let's see what the next card was. That was a magnet. Okay. Hey, GG. Thanks for the game. Yeah, Ken is also like particularly fair. The same way we are. So like that feels like a more reasonable matchup. But you saw the aggression, the economy is kind of limited. Almost all the economy from the deck came from liberated accounts. Which like, I don't know. You've heard me dunking on criminals enough. Hey, catch you around. I guess there's the time CDZ streamed from his bathtub. I haven't seen that. How often did Ken fire? Ken unbroken. Ken Tenma? Does it not? Is it in quotes? Yeah, it's Ken Express. Okay, so let's count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not often. That's not bad. 9's okay. Would you have got more money playing what's in Los in this matchup? Yeah, probably. But it's not bad. That's not terrible. How are you enjoying Atea? Not so bad, but our deck is bad. We actually made a construction of the deck to make it worse. Unfortunately, today we're not going to go do the other Atea. We'll leave that for Thursday because I think we actually made the Atea worse and it fired like 3 times in the game. We did do the cool 4-2 thing, which is really important. That deck is the only one that can do timely public release in a weird way, and it was pretty good. Should have sniped Andre when he went to make tea, not a Muppet. Anywho, thanks so much for watching. I'm pretty sure we'll have a Candidates video up for tomorrow. I think it'll be done, and then mostly one on Saturday, I think, because then we'll try and do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think we have enough stuff, but that's it. I'm feeling a bit better than this morning. That's good. It's good that we're on an upwards trajectory. Hopefully you're doing well. Again, thanks so much for dropping by the stream. I think my pants are okay. Yeah. Thanks so much for dropping in. If you like the stream, mind you, leaving a like, comment, that does help a lot with the channel. So appreciate that if you can take a second. And that's largely it. We'll be back on Thursday. Again, a video hopefully tomorrow morning. It's an ISWAC game. Whoa. And that's mostly it. Take care, y'all. See you in a bit. Ciao.